To connect. Make sure we're live and running. We're live. We're here. And we're make sure we got a feed. What's up? How you guys doing? Welcome back. We're back again. Catch my breath. So the full interview came out earlier, right after I got off, right? And it's been released. Okay, now we're going to listen to this thing, right? We're going to listen to this whole thing, and we're going to do some calls tonight. By the way, we watched the News Nation broadcast about the YouTuber Zav girl. Brian Enton himself was the host, and man, it was pretty rough. He kind of went in. If you want to watch that video, let me tell you where you can watch it. I can't think right now. Duty Ron did it. Okay, Duty Ron did a live stream, and he talked about the situation. I didn't have a chance to really watch because we were watching on Discord the News Nation thing, and then we talked about some other stuff. So I'm going to put the link to his live stream. Let's see. In case you want to watch this after, let me plug it in. Description. What the hell is that? Am I back in the chat? Oh, throw me back in here. Okay, Discord. Duty Ron. Okay, he did a live stream. If you're curious about that News Nation clip, you want to see it, you can watch it here. And it was rough, bro. I was like, damn, what is this chick gonna do? This YouTuber that, took the autopsy photos. She got a FOIA, I guess, and put it on Patreon and was charging $3 to see the autopsy of the kid. So
she wrote, the reality of the computer, really, I request them to pay the money to Death Little Boy. Really, they just got no place on the internet. It was hard enough for the jury to have to look at them. But for this YouTuber to go to all that trouble to request them, to pay the money, to get them from the government, and not only post them, but then to charge people. So yeah, he went hard. So if you're interested in that, you can definitely check that out. I put the link to his page in the description, Duty Ron. Okay, so let's get started with Rudy Farias. I'm going to be pulling some of the comments from the Facebook groups because, after I got off the live stream, Grizzy Hood News released part 3. We got to listen to part 3, and part 3 only confused me more. It only confused me more. It didn't clear up things. I'm kind of like, what in the world? Courtney, thank you so much for the 4-month membership. Thank you, Mel, for all you do. Thank you. Appreciate that. So let's get started. And the Fox clip, he's actually blurred out even more. On Grizzy's thing, you could actually kind of see a little bit more what was going on, a little bit more of his facial features, a little bit more of him moving around. Dr. Edward Moskowitz, thank you so much for the 5-month membership. I hope you're doing well. Just thank you for all you do. Thanks. And Diggs, thank you for resubscribing on Twitch. Let me adjust the volume before we get started. Make sure we're good.
Are you shocked at how much attention this is?
Yeah, a lot. It's a lot of attention. It kind of gets me overwhelmed, Other than that, I just try to stay positive, just try to keep my mentality straight and honest and true and just spread positivity and kindness,
So the world thought you were missing for 8 years. Where were you? Where have you been?
Just at home. Just stuck at home, if somebody would come over, my mom would just tell me stay in the room, keep the door locked, don't let them in, don't make any sounds, don't do anything,
Tell us about what it was like living there. Were you allowed to leave the room? Was she holding you there against your will?
She never locked me in or, handcuffed me or anything like that. I had free will to leave. It just felt like brainwashing, honestly. It just kept confusing me just the way.
So not held physically against his will, but he's saying brainwashed.
Cuffed me or anything like that. I had
Never
free
cuffed
will.
me, which the whole thing too. We talked about all this shit. I don't want to recap too much, but It was supposedly the woman, Tiny, had said that Janie had sent her a picture of Rudy handcuffed.
Believe it just felt like brainwashing, honestly. Like, it just kept confusing me, just the way, she would manipulate me into saying, like, oh, you're gonna get arrested because you have a speeding ticket or something, like something minor, something innocent, and then it would just kind of escalate into just people just, sorry.
You're good.
It just,
Take your time.
yeah, it just escalated from there, from, just wanting to get away from home, just be free, live my own life, arguing all the time. And then we eventually just went into she locked me in there pretty much mentally, just that she was my only parent. She was the only person I really had besides my brother. So when I lost my brother, I didn't have anybody to teach me how to live, how to have confidence or trust in myself or anything, So I just depended on my mom all my life.
What had you been doing for those 8 years?
Just trying to study the best I can online, understand how.
And the comment section under this video is pretty wild. I'll probably, once we get through this, I'm going to read some to you guys. We're going to do some calls at the end of this as well, if anybody wants to call in. It's wild. I don't know what to think. The whole thing is kind of sus to me. I just
the world works, understand different cultures, different religions, different everything. Because my life, I just believe that we should stop putting labels on everything and just understand the communities and the prosperity and the growth and the positivity, because there's just too much fighting, there's too much anger, there's too much depression and mental health problems in the world. And we just need to spread more positivity, because all of it, everything around us, it's an algorithm that they control through the social media and through the colors and just everything. Like if you see something white, like a white wall or a white pillowcase or a white car driving around the place, you'll just understand that, like, you're just trying to have a positive thought, and then you'll look at something white and get sidetracked, and you'll get distracted about stuff and things, and then you'll find stuff like a pink wall or something, or pink whatever, and then you'll just be reminded of, somebody trying to help you, prosperity, just somebody loving people. And red, people confuse that for anger or hate, and it's only anger or hate, these type of things, if you look at it that way,
I mean, and all this stuff too, because it just, like I said, it sounds like some type of shroom talk, maybe supposedly he's been on shrooms for years. It sounds like something that maybe, when you go to like colors and meanings and stuff, red, power, strength, energy, heat, love, passion, danger, warning, anger, white, purity, innocence, goodness, I mean, I don't know. The neighbor did say to Keisha would say that I don't think she ever saw this guy sober. He was always like on something, I guess.
Police said a lot of times that you were 17 when this happened and you're an adult. You spoke a little bit about this, about some of the family trauma you've had growing up. Talk about the fact that although you're an adult, how difficult it was for you to be in this situation and maybe not be able to get out of.
It felt like Stockholm syndrome, honestly. Like, just held against my will mentally, not physically, just constantly. Like, she was bombarding me with negative thoughts, and like every time I come around her, she just makes me, it's like little triggers just pop up, and it's like if I'm trying to get away from my mom, I'll hear a random noise, and it'll be like a little reminder in my head, like, don't do that, don't say this, or just little things. Like, she's putting ideas or thoughts into my head whenever I'm just trying to, just understand the world.
Do you think your mom took advantage of you?
Heavily.
How does that feel? I mean, I can't imagine. You said your mom is really the only person in your family you have. How was that you felt your own mom took advantage?
It's like I lived in prison. It's like I lived in a jail my whole life. I just wanted to be free. I wanted to have my own job. I just wanted to live my life. I just wanted to just love somebody, have somebody else that would actually love me, because I wasn't sure what love was. I struggled understanding my emotions. I don't know when I'm sad and that I'm sending out negative energy. I don't understand when I'm happy and sending out positive energy. The only way I was understanding how to communicate with people was online, and even then you can't trust everything you see online, because half the time people are just making their own assumptions and spinning what they want, and just I can't ever speak my truth because everybody wants to assume things.
Can you go into the brainwashing? What would she say to you? Would she say something would happen if you were to leave her home?
It wasn't that. It's just after I left, I started to understand that all of it's just an algorithm. It's literally all an algorithm. If you look at something black, you understand that they understand. If you look at something white, it'll confuse you when you're trying to go in a positive direction. If you look at something red, it'll remind you of love. If you look at green, it'll remind you of, like grounding people that are there for you and stuff,
Did you feel stuck? And what was she doing exactly that kept you hidden?
It's just every time I would try to leave or, try to do things for myself, like I want to go get my own money, I want to go work a different job, I want to do this and that, they would always just come right back around to just, don't do that, or it's bad, don't do that, like the cops are going to come out, they're going to do this, they're going to arrest you if you're driving a car without a license or this and that. And it's just like, oh, how do you expect me to get a license to drive a car if I can't even go out? All I do is work 12-hour shifts 7 days a week and I get $60. Like, I don't understand how that's fair.
Why do you think she wanted to keep you hidden?
I don't know. It all started just because I had a speeding ticket. I went like 70 and a 55 trying to go to work. And then when that all started, it's just like I wasn't able to have a life. I was starting to start working and growing and, provide for myself. And then after that happened, I couldn't do it.
I think the question everyone has is why your mom would lie and say that you've been missing for 8 years. Did she ever tell you, did you ever ask, Mom, why are we pretending that I'm missing?
And that's the thing, when it comes to the real small details like that, I don't remember. It's like it just blocks it out, like she's blocking it out for me or something. And it's like I just want to remember the facts. I just want to understand.
Blocking it out for him?
Feels like that. I don't remember. It's like it just blocks it out, like she's blocking it out for me or something. And it's like I just want to remember the facts. I just want to understand, who I am and what I'm trying to do, and just try to live my life the way I want to, not how she wants me to.
Were you questioning your mom, like, Mom, why am I doing this?
Yeah, I would always ask her stuff like, when am I going to get a job? When am I going to have my own car? When am I going to be able to make my own decisions? When am I going to be able to just go out and be free? Like, why can't we just go to the police station? Why can't I just get a lawyer? Why can't I just do that? And she's like, oh, you can't get a lawyer because it's too much money. We can't do that because it's too much money. Everything was always just money, 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 money. It's a constantly money.
If you had to guess why she was doing this, was she making money from you being missing, as far as you know?
I don't know. I think somebody at one point mentioned something about an original GoFundMe page. And then my mom wanted to say something about, like, one of my aunts or something was, like, stole all the sodas or something. But meanwhile, where's all the money that they raised, like, and where did that go to helping find me?
So we have video. We actually, Fox 26, we interviewed your mother while you were in the hospital 10 years ago in 2012. What happened? Why were you in the hospital? And I guess it was mentioned to our reporter.
That's what I was wondering too. Dressed as a lawyer for what? Yeah, I don't know. A lawyer for what? And the police station? I don't know. What police station for what? To go say that you're not missing or what? And then the job thing, I'm assuming he's talking about where supposedly his mother would take him to work to her job and make him work, I guess.
At the time that you had cancer?
I had a tumor on my heel at one point, but that was irrelevant. Originally, I think all that had started because she wanted me to fake taking some, like, a bottle of Tylenol or, like, Aleve PM or something, sleeping pills. And then she wanted to fake me going to the hospital, and she pretty
a lawyer for the speeding ticket says, okay. Bonzi smoke.
Much just forced me to go into the ER and be like, hey, act like
and
you're
he thought cops were looking for him? Okay.
sick and you're overdosing and and
This was before you were missing.
Yes, sir.
Why? Why was this happening?
I don't even remember. I think it was something to do with school. I was depressed and I was cutting my wrist when I was, getting sad. I didn't have an idea how to, understand my emotions. It was after my brother passed away. I didn't know how to deal with pain and depression, so I would just literally just rip a Coke can open and just run it on my wrist like a cheese grater just to feel something.
Your brother was a big part of your life, the one who passed away. Talk to us about that, and was that a major part in this, how you were feeling with depending on your mom?
Yes, ma'am. He would take care of me, he would take me to and from school, he would pick me up, he would get me McDonald's, he'd just play little jokes on me and stuff, and after he had passed away, I just wasn't able to, love myself or anything anymore. I wasn't able to have somebody like a father figure. He was my brother, but I never had a dad. I only had stepdads. I didn't know how to grow up. I didn't know what I was doing as I was growing up. I didn't understand how to take care of myself, how to wash myself, how to make doctor's appointments, how to do anything, because I never had a chance.
What would you have to say to police that say, well, he was an adult?
What do you mean?
It seems like in this case, you didn't have the support there that you needed, and police seem so focused on your age that you were 17, which is an adult in Texas. But can you talk about the fact that, yes, you were an adult, but the mindset that
I thought it was 18. But they've gone back and forth with 17, 18.
you've been in?
Yeah, it was just like a constant brainwashing, like the Stockholm type of syndrome, where it's just, you just fall in love with your captive and just want to take care of them, do this and that, it would just constantly just be me trying to help and just take care of my mom, do whatever she needs because I cared about her and she's the only person I had.
Did your mom, over this last 8 years, did she say anything or like, is there anything that sticks out in your mind that bothers you, or that you remember conversations with her that
just, I don't know, I used to have to sleep in her bed sometimes. I don't remember why, just like next to her. It wouldn't be anything sexual or anything like that. I wouldn't lie about that because there's plenty of people that need honest truths when it comes to those things. That just muddies the water to lie about those type of things. That's where I said the media, they like to twist my words and confuse things. I never said anything bad about her in that regard, but just...
That it's just so strange to me too. And I saw people going on Cornell's page, like asking for an answer, like, hey. And then what I see people are saying too is like, well, Cornell never said intercourse. Well, he said sexual abuse, the tongue kissing, the bathroom stuff, naked, even though maybe, Rudy's not going to want to say that. But he's saying that like nothing sexual happened. It's literally what he said. And then the other thing, the other lady with the hammer that was standing up with Cornell, she said intercourse. I heard her say intercourse. I don't know, maybe she missaid or whatever. And also, Cornell, when he was talking, it sounded like he was saying that there was more that he's not even going to speak on, that there's more he could say, but he's not. He said he has evidence as well. And some people think, I've seen a lot of different comments. Some people think Cornell's still not lying. They don't think some people don't think Cornell's lying. Some people think maybe he was told something and now this guy's taking it back. Some people think he is lying.
Muddies the water to lie about that because there's plenty of people that need honest truths when it comes to those things. That just muddies the water to lie about those type of things. That's where I said the media, they like to twist my words and confuse things. I never said anything bad about her in that regard, but, just boundaries she would push or make me uncomfortable, and I would say stop, and she was like, well, why, what did I do? I didn't do anything wrong, and then I would just be like, okay, you didn't do anything wrong, and just leave it at that, just push my boundaries if you want, do whatever you had to do, and I would just be like a people pleaser, but I didn't have people to please, just my mom. I didn't have anybody to take.
Let me take that just one more time, this part with
Texas, but can you talk about the fact that, yes, you were an adult, but the mindset that you've been in?
Yeah, it was just like a constant brainwashing, like the Stockholm type of syndrome, where it's just, you just fall in love with your captive and just want to take care of them, do this and that, it would just constantly just be me trying to help and just take care of my mom, do whatever she needs because I cared about her and she's the only person I had.
Did your mom over this last 8 years, did she say anything, or like, is there anything that sticks out in your mind that bothers you, or that you remember conversations with her that
Just, I don't know. I used to have to sleep in her bed sometimes. I don't remember why, just like next to her. It wouldn't be anything sexual or anything like that. I wouldn't lie about that, because there's plenty of people that need honest truths when it comes to those things. That just muddies the water to lie about those type of things. That's where I said the media, they like to twist my words and confuse things. I never said anything bad about her in that regard, but just boundaries she would push or make me uncomfortable, and I would say stop, and she was like, well, why, what did I do? I didn't do anything wrong, and then I would just be like, okay, you didn't do anything wrong, and just leave it at that, just push my boundaries if you want, do whatever you had to do. And I would just be like a people pleaser, but I didn't have people to please, just my mom. I didn't have anybody to take care of or, help understand me. It was just her all the time, my mom.
How hard has it been, right?
They should have followed up with what boundaries, like what if you can give an example, exactly what boundary are you talking about? I don't know.
Now, I know that this is the only person you feel like you have had, and now that you're separated, how hard is it to make that distinction right now? Do you want to talk to her?
No, not really. I don't want any contact with her at all. I just want to live my life away from her. She can do whatever she wants. I don't care. I just want to live my life. I want to have a family, a job, a car, just a house. I just want to live my life. I just want to be happy. I don't want to keep going back to those negative thoughts she always has on me. I'm so tired of them. I'm so tired of those thoughts. Just constant negativity around that house, and I hate it. Seems like every time she comes around me, it just fuels negativity into me, like she's just downloading it into my brain over and over, and I don't like it.
Did she make you, were there ever times where police would come to your house to check on you? That you recall?
I think at one point.
Did you have interaction with the police, or did your mom make you hide? Like, how were you able to get away? I know police mentioned some fake names. Did you actually speak to the police ever?
Like once or twice. Maybe once when I was driving my mom's car and they pulled us over because, she wasn't feeling good. She had took some pain medicine after a surgery, and, she was struggling to drive. So I was like, just get over, just get in the passenger seat. I'll take you home. It's not too far, And, yeah, they pulled me over for something like that, but I don't remember what name I gave them. She told me, just say something else, say a different name, because they don't, they're going to arrest you. I'm just like, why can't I just tell them my name, So
these people don't check for ID or whatever when they're pulling you over? I wonder what year was this? What year did this happen? So I guess during the period where he was supposed to be missing, the cops pulled him over or whatever and just let him, dip out?
What was it like? 8 years without seeing some of your closest family members. And every time they'd come over, what would you have to do?
Hide. If my uncles or my aunts came to visit my mom, or my family would come to visit my grandma, that's the main reason. They would go over there to see my grandma. And I would just have to listen to my family be happy and cheerful on the other side of a door. And I'm just like, I want my families, I just want people. I just want communication. I just want people to understand that we need to start talking more and just stop, like.
Did you want to just end it right there and go out and tell them that you're here and you're okay?
I just want them to know that I wanted to scream for them, but at the same time, I just couldn't, because the only person I was able to trust was my mom. She told me so many things about my other family that I didn't know. I wasn't able to verify.
Was your grandma living with you at one point?
Yes, ma'am.
And you had and she tried to tell people that you were there?
Yes, ma'am.
She was she sick?
She had Alzheimer's and dementia, sundown syndrome. She had a bunch of medical issues, and that's why I took.
So that sundown syndrome is something that came up before, and somebody on Facebook answered that question. Sundown syndrome? What is it? I don't even know what the hell. Sundown syndrome is the name of a group of behaviors, feelings, and thoughts people who have Alzheimer's or dementia can experience as the sun sets. Never heard of that before. The behavior starts to get worse around sunset or sundown. However, this delirium can potentially occur at any time, not just at sunset. Okay.
Care of her the best I could.
And did she ever say to you anything about Rudy, go out, tell police, like, did she ever say anything to you? Because it seems like she tried to tell family members that you were there.
Yeah, I think she tried telling people, but it's just my mom I don't know. I'm honestly not sure about that one.
Do you feel like your mom held you captive? Is that how you would?
Pretty much. I mean, in a sense, just not in a physical, restraints or anything, but mentally she held me against my will, which is, I wanted to just come out and say stuff and be honest, and every time I would try to, she would just either be, no, don't do it, or, all right, go do it.
Why do you think she did that?
I don't know. It's because maybe a lot of both of our problems stemmed from my brother passing away. My brother had passed away, and ever since then, he was like our glue. He was like the father figure. He's a provider. He took care of the family. Me and my mom. And then when I couldn't take care of my mom anymore, I had to take care of my grandma, and it was difficult. It was especially at the end.
Do you see your mom change her personality over the years?
She was always kind of had that mentality, try to talk to her about something positive and then, or address her issues. And then my mom would just deviate, sidetrack, or completely ignore it, especially stuff like mental health.
This is your chance, finally. We've heard from family members, we've heard from police. It's finally your chance to tell your story. Is there anything that you want people to know about what happened to you?
I wanted to live my life, and just something inside of my brain kept going back to her, she was my life support in a sense. I needed her. Or at least she made me feel that way. She never gave me the confidence or the guidance or the teaching that I needed. She never gave me anything other than just the bare necessities and a job worth slaving over to help her pay bills and debts or whatever, or tickets and stuff,
Without getting into specifics, I'm sure you've heard or seen what Quanell told the media last week.
About what in particular?
About things that he says that you told him in that hotel room last week.
Specifically
about some of the sexual things.
See, that's what I'm saying. The twisting. No, I didn't say anything like intercourse or this and that.
But no, I don't necessarily think he didn't get into specifics like that either. But he did mention that your mom wanted you to play the role of husband in the house.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's trying to I guess he doesn't want to straight out come and say that Quanell said you were kissing your mother and all this other stuff. I feel like Quanell literally said sexual abuse. And I just felt like it was implied that there was more than kissing, which you could say the kissing is sexual abuse. But he implied that there was more than kissing. And the reporter did, when he did one of those interviews, the reporter did try to ask him to expound on that, even though it's kind of one of those things on TV. It's kind of tough. How do you ask for further details with that? And Quanell snapped, right? Quanell snapped and was like, what is it? Was your mother tongue kissing you down the throat and all this stuff? So he snapped on the guy. But now we're kind of all left to guess and kind of wonder. But, Rudy seems to be dispelling this stuff. He's not really getting specific, but he is dispelling that sexual stuff happened. What's his definition of sexual? I don't know.
Basically felt like that. Make sure to cook, or, you didn't make me any food. You didn't do this and that. It's just I just want to provide for myself. I don't want to keep providing for my mom.
It seems like this woman had him doing all kinds of shit in the house, cleaning, cooking, I guess, according to him, right? Filling in the role. She didn't want to do this, so she just got him doing stuff.
treated like a roommate towards the end, you know, like I'm tired of being your son. I just want to be your roommate. I just want to live my life. Give me my check instead of $60 for 12-hour shifts 7 days a week at night, you know, like I just want to live.
She would make you go to work with her, is that?
Yes, ma'am.
And then we don't want to twist your words. We want to say it from your perspective, and we want to make sure we get this right. So I know she had you play the role of a father, but as far as sexual assault or something of that nature, did she ever force, you don't have to go into detail, but
she didn't force herself on me or anything like that. Like it wouldn't be anything like I would have to go get a rape kit or go file a police report. Okay. It would never be anything.
I mean, the only thing I see is people are just arguing, well, he's still under her control and he's trying to protect her, which you could argue that's what Cornell was saying. But, I mean, I don't know what else, especially what you're going to expect police to do. If this is what he told police, what can you do, right?
And then we don't want to twist your words. We want to say it from your perspective, and we want to make sure we get this right. So
I do think he should sit down with some sort of medical professional, you know, psychiatrist, psychologist, whatever, some type of medical professional, and go through all this stuff to find out what's what and what's not.
I know she had you play the role of a father, but as far as sexual assault or something of that nature, did she ever force, you don't have to go into detail, but
she didn't force herself on me or anything like that. Like it wouldn't be anything like I would have to go get a rape kit or go file a police report. Okay. It would never be anything like that. Just stuff that really made me uncomfortable, and I didn't have any references or other people to bounce off of to understand that, like, if it's a healthy thing that she does or not. You know, maybe it's just me not understanding how people work because she's the only person I understand. But
that's just a doctor, right? Yeah.
Would you say that you and your mom have a normal son-mother relationship?
I mean, not after all of that. Not after everything she did. And to be honest, I don't want one with her.
When you finally left a few weeks ago, when you were found at the church, what happened? Did you just finally have enough?
Yeah, I just been walking. I just wanted to get away. I didn't care if I had a car or money or anything. I don't care about money. I don't care about a car. I don't care about anything, just happiness and love. How did you end up at the church? Did you just have nowhere to go? I just kept walking around. I just kept trying to find back home, you know, something that felt familiar. And the only thing that felt familiar was this side of town, you know. I grew up over there by Austin and Humble and Jackson and all that, you know. Not Humble, Jackson and Austin and, you know, just that general area by the freeway, you know. So I kind of got a general sense of where I was going, but I just couldn't find something to be happy at. I found a church and I rolled with being at a church, you know.
Are you still talking with your mom?
Safe. No, I don't want any contact with her, but she keeps trying to come around.
If she sees this story, what would you tell her?
Just leave me alone. Just let me live my life. Just want to be happy, and I'm happy now. And I'm working on it.
Rudy,
working on being happy.
What would you say to people that think that somehow, you know, now that you're an adult, that you were in on this? What would you say to those people that don't understand Stockholm?
It's very much a real thing, and it's a struggle when you're the only one that understands it. It's even worse when everybody wants to assume the worst rather than understand and communicate genuinely and honestly, because there's just too much confusion in this world.
How are you feeling now? Is there relief?
Yeah, very much. A lot of relief. It just feels like I'm just at peace now. It just feels happy, you know.
And how have police been handling this, do you think? What have they been saying to you, and what's it been like?
I mean, they're trying the best that they can and giving me space that they can, but it's a struggle still, you know. I'm just slowly trying to take it one day at a time, you know. It's just a lot it overwhelms me very much.
Given everything that you've been through and with your mom, do you think there's something that police should know about?
Just to there's a lot of corruption. And it's literally through the colors. Like I said, I'm not saying, oh, there's corrupt cops and this and that. Literally, it's a corruption of the mind. It's through nanobots and it's through the flu vaccines and everything. That's why people have that first memory of waking up and being alive whenever they're a kid. You know, it's like I said, literally corruption. Like
The nanobots and the flu shot. I mean, I'm not into the flu shot myself, but I don't have that like mentality about whatever the flu shot, like doing that. I don't know, man. I really, really don't know. Is this prolonged use of shrooms? I don't know. I mean, I wish they would have asked him to what kind of drugs or substances besides the mushrooms that they claim. You know, what else was he being given? I don't know, dude.
colors. I'm not talking about the skin tones. I literally mean actual colors. Whenever you look at them, they influence the direction you go. And online, the media, like the computers and the people we talk to, it's all connected in a sense. That's why it just confuses us. Whenever we look at white things, we get distracted and stuff, and we look at the reds and we remind us that it's love, but they kind of influence us to assume, you know, like through bad stuff online, they're like, oh, red's bad, you know, it's evil, it's a devil. It's like, it's not all that.
For 8 years, you haven't really been able to speak to anyone besides some neighbors, your mom, going to work sometimes. Your communication seems like it's been very little. Do you think that's impacted you throughout the years as not being able
It's interesting how they just brush past that. Like, all right, next question. Bruh, just said all that stuff. I mean, I don't know. How would you engage with that kind of conversation anyway? I don't know. But it does almost look like, too, like this guy needs time to talk. But there was a point in Quanell X's press conference when they asked him about like the proof or evidence, and he mumbled something under his breath. I didn't get to hear what he said because people are on Quanell's page now, like, yo, like, hey, are you gonna say something about this? There's people that trust and believe in Quanell. There's people that don't even like Quanell that are like, they just don't see this guy making this up like that. Especially with other people in the room. Quanell seemed very, very sure of himself, and he said he had evidence. So now it's like the ball's back in his court again, back to Quanell, you know?
Just to assume, you know, like through bad stuff online, they're like, oh, red's bad, you know, it's evil, it's a devil. It's like, it's not all that.
For 8 years, you haven't really been able to speak to anyone besides some neighbors, your mom, going to work sometimes. Your communication seems like it's been very little. Do you think that's impacted you throughout the years as not being able to really have real relationships with people?
Exactly. I wasn't able to understand like how people thought or acted, you know, like I would try to introduce myself, say hello to people online or this and that, and every time it just seemed like, you know, just completely get shot down by people, and I'm just trying to make friends or socialize, and it's just like I don't understand how to talk to people sometimes. You know, it feels like I'm speaking a completely different language than them, and I just don't understand sometimes.
Would you call yourself a victim?
Yes, heavily.
I'm almost done, personally. I don't know about you guys, but
Wrap this up.
for the longest time, you've stayed hidden. You haven't been able to say who you are. Is it nice?
I'd probably be there. I'd probably talk to him for hours. If he allowed, if he wasn't uncomfortable, maybe he doesn't want to. I could probably we'd sit there for, man, we put a cup of tea or coffee or some shit. We go 2, 3 hours, 4 hours talking about what happened. I mean, if he wanted to, maybe he doesn't want to, but he's like, let's wrap this up.
You can say who you are now. You can be your own self and do your own life.
Yes, sir.
What are you hoping?
Just a job, get my own money, and help out my communities, help out my people, and help out other kids like me. Because I don't want this to happen to other people, because I'm sure it happens to a lot of people. A lot of abuse and just neglect and just harmful ways of parenting that shouldn't be out there. You know, there's just so many negative ways that kids are just getting abused, and they don't understand or realize that there's no help for them.
Vodka pickles.
Another question we have for you is, so it's totally up to you or not. At first, we weren't going to because of the sexual assault aspect, but we want to put the record straight that you said that's part's not true.
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
want to show your face or you don't want to show your face?
I'm not a big fan of showing my face, especially with a lot of people already knowing what I look like.
Somebody just said this ain't microdosing. Hell no, you know this ain't no microdosing, dude.
It just makes it even worse.
I just want to make sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't worry, Rudy, we got you.
Anything we didn't ask that you think is important that you want us to mention, because we were here to finally tell your story. Anything that we didn't ask that you want to make sure people know about?
Just all I can say is just spread positivity and love.
The people that you're with, you know, a lot of people are coming down hard on Nikki and the people
They
you're
don't
with.
deserve it. They don't. They really don't. They helped me so much, and they've given me a place to stay and a family, in a sense. You know, it makes me happy.
Yep.
It really does. I never had, you know, a lot of people to talk with or socialize with, and it just makes me happy knowing that I have people here that I can trust and that can take care of me and that understand that, you know, sometimes people struggle.
So you consider yourself safe, out of harm, all that, right? Like you're with.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm happy here. I'm very happy here, and they're very good people. They don't deserve any negativity towards them or hatred. They should have a lot of help and support and guidance and just prayers and positivity. Just everything that anybody would need to be happy in life, you know.
And your mom, when she comes by, do you feel like, you know, you are being like kept away from her when she comes and stops by or tries to talk to you?
I just don't want her here because I know the way she acts, it influences everybody around me. It's not just me. It's like she sends that negativity towards me, and then I send it back out towards everybody else, and I don't want that.
Yeah.
I know Grizzy was mentioning that you might have had like someone from your high school reach out, and you've had a lot of attention from
people,
this a girl.
Yeah. You got some classmates, man. When you were going to to Catholic school, you got some classmates reaching out, which I told you about. Any messages to all the people that know you from before all this went down, that love you, that say they're here for you?
Just thank you very much for reaching out, and when I'm ready, I'll be able to reach out to the people I care about and love. And
Are you surprised by all this attention? I mean, it's been on the news across the world.
I wasn't expecting that much attention, to be honest. I didn't realize that it was happening so big, you know, just growing so much.
Are you going to take, I know police mentioned that there were some resources. Are you plans to talk to anybody that they put you in touch with?
At some point. It's just right now, I just rather do it by myself, you know, just try to learn to understand how to live and be a normal person, you know.
Have you gotten
grow and be nice.
Have you gotten?
Oh, so I guess he doesn't want. I guess he doesn't want the services being offered. I guess. Wow. I guess wants time alone or something, or he said he wants to figure it out on his own. Oh, okay.
An attorney?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Lawyer? No.
No, sir. I don't know that I'm aware of.
And then, have you talked to Quanell since you saw him at the hotel?
No.
No. Okay.
No, sir.
You guys have anything else? Anything else you want to add, Rudy?
Just spread some positivity.
Well,
Spread wildflower, not wildfire, because we need more colors and beauty in this world. We don't need any more hatred or burning things down. We need to just stop, you know, trying to disassemble everything and just take out the bolts and the screws and try to clean things, you know, instead of looking at everything so negatively. Just look at all the positivity in the world. Focus on the positivity, because every time you focus on the negativity, it just creates more negativity around you and your communities.
Wow. Well, then that's it, bro. Is that oh, okay, no, that's the same face he had on for Zav girl. I thought they posted the video. Man, I don't know. So I mean, he says he's happy. So this is what I'm kind of thinking. I feel like this story, this situation, it could die here or it could continue. If Rudy doesn't speak out anymore, Janie should speak up. I doubt she will, I guess, but she should come forward. Maybe tell her story to whoever. And it either dies here and that's it, and Rudy goes about his life. I guess he's not going to take the help that's being offered at this moment in time. Unless Quanell decides to fire back and defend himself. Because that was a serious press conference these people held. Quanell and the group of people that he had there, the Hammer lady, the Justice Thor lady, with all the documentations, with the binders and the dividers, and talking about they're going to bring the heat to the police. And also police said they're doing an investigation themselves and they're keeping it quiet. They're not talking. So it could just die here and that's it. Or who knows? Maybe the police conclude their investigation and something turns out. Because there was been one clip that we were watching where there were some on the news. I don't know if it was an attorney. He was like, maybe they charge them both or some shit. Like, what? Maybe they charge both of them. But I guess he wants to be left alone. And he says he's happy. I don't think this Janie lady is going to let him go like that. I think she has, a grip on him. The shroom thing that's just odd to me. I'm kind of curious. I don't know, people out there, if anybody's ever had shrooms long term. I've never seen shrooms as something of like, I got to have it. I need my next fix type of shit. Never heard of some shit like that. I've heard of people using it kind of like somewhat prolonged or microdosing, but not like fiending over shrooms. But maybe, I don't know, over a long period of time. I really wonder what other substances he may have had. I could totally see this woman having some type of control, somewhat, mentally telling him what to do. You got to clean the house. You can't go out. You got to come to work with me. Like kind of controlling his life and him never like asserting himself or like snapping on mama to be like, I'm done. F this. I'm not doing your shit. Very weird situation. And we got to be getting like a very, very small, like tidbit, like a little peep of what actually happened. Like a little small little preview, small little whatever. We're definitely not getting the whole story. And I've seen some people saying in the Facebook groups that they're done, that they're tired of this shit. They're tired of the story. They got a headache. They're done with it. Some people are just tired of the story. They're over the shit. Moving on to the next thing. I think, I was listening to this. I listened to it twice now. I heard a lot of, I wish they kind of would have expounded a little bit because yes, I heard a lot of like I guess you could say buzzwords. And for me, it's like, okay, I hear the Stockholm Syndrome, or I hear the whole like, my boundaries are being pushed, but I would like some substance to that. So when he said that, I don't want to criticize anybody about anything, about what you should say, what you should ask, but I'm just saying these are very surface level responses. And in fact, these are conversations that everybody's been having up until Rudy did this interview. Everybody's been saying it's a Stockholm Syndrome. Everybody's been saying, whatever. And so it's almost just sounds like repeating in a way, but I would actually like to know more in depth if he doesn't have to tell us anything, but if he wanted to. That doesn't tell me much of anything. It's just a surface level robotic response. Literally parroting what everybody's been speculating kind of thing, but there's no real like. The only example I think he gave was the work thing where I guess, I think he said working 7 days a week, 12-hour shifts, getting paid $60, I guess from his mother, or like his mother telling him. And I don't know if I heard it in this one. I heard it in Grizzly's. The one part where he was saying, my mother said I can't drive without a license. And so I don't understand that, like what was wrong with that. But Tiff Talk says, many people who are codependent don't realize they're codependent. Was that really Rudy? Well, I saw a lot of people in the comment section asking that. I believe it's him, but I seen those comments. It's a fake person. It's a psyop. It's not really him. I don't understand the color stuff. All that color stuff, like that would sound cool to me if I was getting high with somebody or we're trying to talk about life or maybe the perception of colors and the effects of colors. But in the case of like you've been missing all this time for 8 years, but you really weren't missing, it's an odd conversation about the flu shots and nanobots or microbots, whatever you call them. All right, let's do some calls. Let's do calls. If you want to call in, maybe give me your thoughts, what you think. I'm gonna pull up some of the Facebook stuff. I want to see what people on Facebook are saying. Some of the comments. I'm really wondering about Quanell, and this is Quanell's name on the line, right? This is what he does. This is his, his publicity is how he's known, his name. And so twice now, it's being said that Rudy's implying that this is not what was said, the sexual abuse stuff, he's implying. So twice now they're kind of like coming for Quanell. So is he just gonna let this just go, or is he gonna fire back?
Thank you for calling.
Okay. And you can't force somebody either to get help. There's only so much you can do, especially an adult, right?
Call in studio web interface.
Already, I've had situations like that before in the past. Oh, Mel, look, why don't you help, or why don't you do this? There's nothing I can do. I've already tried. I've already offered. I'm not going to let somebody take me down in a process that doesn't want to get help. I'm talking about other situations, but you can't literally force somebody, grab them, throw them somewhere to get examined or get help. 716. How you doing? I'll talk about Tiny in a second. 716. How you doing? Hi. Who's this?
It's Curly.
Curly. Hi. How you doing? Oh, Carly. You said Carly. I said Curly. You said Carly.
Yeah.
Hey.
Anyways, so I was thinking, when he was in the interview with Quanell and the police, I wonder if he was throwing out nanobots and the colors and all that weird stuff. And then Quanell is just thinking, oh, he's the man of the house, and he took it in a different way than what Rudy meant.
Possibly. Maybe things got lost in interpretation, while we're talking.
Yeah, and he never said that his mom wanted him to play daddy. I know I heard the news reporter say that, but he said man of the house. He never said play daddy.
Right.
Which is a difference. And then I'm starting to think that maybe after Jamie lost her son, she just became very protective of Rudy, and she made it a way where he could not get away from her, but not so much because she wanted to do anything sexual to him, but because she had a fear of losing him. If he got a girlfriend, that would take attention from her, where the way they had it was she was his number one. And for him to get anything, she would have to go through him.
Right.
Because I know when my mother-in-law, she lost 2 sons, and she's quite overbearing. She's in our business, and every day she wants to know what's going on. And it's because she has a fear that she's going to lose another child that she lost. Sorry.
That's okay.
Too.
Mama's love.
This isn't your turn. Okay, well, I'll let you go.
Okay, no problem. That's all right.
This is bad. Okay.
I appreciate you calling, though. Thank you. No problem. She was trying. Thanks. She was making some interesting points. Mama's love. Want to be overbearing, controlling. There's some moms out there like that. They want to control the son, make him whatever. He can't have his own decision. He can make his own choice. Anytime you try to do something, mama's always coming down your throat. Can't speak for yourself. Can't think for yourself. Everything's mama's love. You got to do what mama says. Mama's love. Oh, as far as, I'm going to take the next call too. Somebody was asking about Tiny. So Tiny, we were talking very, very little earlier. She was working today until 5, which is PM her time, which is 6 our time. And then I didn't hear back from her. She didn't text me back, so I don't know. I told her when I was open and available. I didn't hear back from her, so I'll just give her space and her time whenever she wants to talk. What I'd like to do with her, and that's what I was telling her. I'd like to just have a regular phone conversation with her and get a little rapport and like talk about some of the things that she wants to talk about, so I have an idea, and then do a video recording together. So I don't know. She didn't reply back, but I'll give her some time and see what she wants to do. Okay, 949. How you doing? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Gabby from the chat, actually. So,
Gabby, hi. How you doing? I saw you in there.
Called in a few times, but yeah, hi. So I'll promise this will be like a minute long because I feel like there's a lot of people with. I mean, that's the beauty of the world. It's all a mixing pot, and so we all get to, have our own intuition and our own opinions. And I think there's a lot of people that don't really understand how microdosing works. And the only reason why I just want to make this apparent is because I've been asked this so many times in chat. And, there are resources that you can go to, but everything that I have done on my own has been 100% legal and through clinical trials and stuff like that. And that is something that needs to be looked at. Sorry. Oh my God, I'm stuttering because I'm so nervous.
No, you're good. You're fine.
Sorry. Yeah, I never call in until I'm actually really passionate about something. But if you ever want to, for any moms out there in the chat, there's a little form you can go on. It's called Moms on Mushrooms, and they talk about how microdosing has helped them just being themselves and getting through this postpartum depression. But they're also taking it at a level where it's not where you're tripping and where you're going crazy. And for me, I'm only 26 years old, as old as Rudy, basically. And, I hope that this can be turned around into something good. And I only hope for the best for their family. But really, it's hard to tell. And so I'm going to leave it up to chat. But thank you guys so much for showing all the love. And thank you for taking my call again.
Thank you for calling.
I really appreciate it.
Let me ask you something. Don't run from me yet.
Absolutely. Hope Maddie is doing well.
Oh, thank you. She's great. Wait. Hey.
Awesome.
Are you there?
Awesome.
Okay. Don't run from me.
All right. Bye-bye.
No. Stay there. I want to ask you a question.
You have a great night.
Oh, my God. Hello?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Hi. I'm here. Yeah. Sorry.
Yo.
The relay is kind of running slow on my computer. So now I know that you're pulling up the picture.
Listen to me directly on the phone, though. Don't listen to me on YouTube so we can be together in sync.
I am, yeah.
Okay, great. I want to ask you your thoughts. So, do you microdose?
I do, yeah.
Okay. I've heard great things about it, but so microdosing is not going to cause you, if Rudy was taking shrooms all this time, it's not going to make you be like this, right?
You know what? I genuinely think that the mom was buying also from a retailer that was not approved because also they're in Texas. That is not legalized there in any sort of way. You can buy from Canada. You can fill out forms where you can have it shipped from Canada to so I live in California, so it's a bit different legally here. They're starting to open it up, but really, I would only consider it being super high doses, especially if she's leaving him in a dark room. Maybe she thinks that that's something that would chime him into I don't know, because there's so many theories that are going around. So I don't want to throw anything out there and, disrespect Rudy and his family, of course. But, I really think with microdosing, it also comes with lion's mane and niacin, which are niacin. I'm sure that people have heard about. It's like a vitamin. So, or it's something with a daily vitamin, something that I used to take back then. But also there's lion's mane in there, which, there are certain scientific things that are being done. And there are these clinical trials where we are trying to bring it to fruition and we are trying to give these people actual help. And it really sucks that Rudy had to go through all of this because I genuinely feel like it could have gone in so many other positive ways. But the fact that he's still traumatized by this, he really needs professional help and he needs to see somebody who will cater to his needs. For example, I brought up my diagnosis with my now psychiatrist who teaches at a university nearby me. And he is wonderful and he's amazing. He told me I was years ahead of my time for even bringing up the idea of microdosing. And I think it's a really interesting thing to look into, but I'm not going to say it's for everyone, because obviously go at your own discretion. Make sure that you are really knowing what you're taking as much as you are with your prescription medications and et cetera. And I think that's really about all I need
No,
to
that's
say
okay. And
about
so
it, but,
you've noticed benefits, like you've gotten benefits, because I heard that people use this for like depression and I don't know what else, other kinds of stuff that it's helped them out with.
Yeah, it made me start getting up in the morning. Like, I can't even explain it. It just makes you think about a lot more things and it's over time. So I think with microdosing, it takes about 3 to 4 weeks to feel the effects. And you can even look it up. It's by Paul Stamets. He has a Stamets stack on when exactly to take microdosing. And you can also just look into his work and all that stuff. And you can look at Johns Hopkins University research. They do a clinical trial center there where you can, even if you're near there, they probably will admit you in. They're very knowledgeable about it. They even have a YouTube video up where you can watch it while you're tripping. And it's really amazing how scientific they're trying to hone this in and really get it down to a science. And I love it. But I want it to be available for everyone. And I just, I hope the best for everyone. So,
all right. Well, thank you so much.
For having me.
Yeah, thank you. I
don't
appreciate it.
Too much.
No, you're good. Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you calling. Thank you. Take care, Gabby.
Absolutely. You as well, Mel.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
I feel like I had more questions for her, but I lost my train of thought when I was trying to get her back. And then there is like a lot of people holding, so I don't want to keep too long. But Gabby, thank you for calling. I heard about this microdosing stuff. This is definitely I'm not saying to take this stuff. I've never tried microdosing, but it sounds funny though. Moms on mushrooms. What the fuck? But I have heard there's like scientific stuff. There's articles about this whole microdosing stuff. Anyway, 214. How you doing? Where you calling from? 214.
Hello.
Oh, hi. How you doing?
Is that me?
That's you. How you doing?
Mel?
Hey.
I'm good. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
Okay. So, wow, that last call, I don't know about all of this shrooms and stuff like that. That kind of blew my mind. I didn't even want to put my son on Adderall. But to get back to the case,
yes,
Rudy, I'm wondering if he's just not trying, if he's not realizing that he fell into his mom's scheme. He was 17 or 18 at the time and hid out in the backyard, and he could have left, and he did lie to the police a few times about who he was. And now they're saying that the cops are corrupt. I mean, I don't know who is or who isn't, but there is a lot of scandal and lying going on in the whole circle.
Yeah, it's super shady. I don't know. I mean, this whole time we keep hearing at the beginning, it's just, the cops are lying, the cops are covering, the cops are this, the cops are that. And then, I mean.
Well, Rudy said he thought the cops were corrupt.
Right. Well, I thought he said, he corrected himself and said something like, it's not the cops are corrupt. I'm not saying the cops are corrupt, but it's like the colors and corruption and mind and stuff, something like that. I think he tried to back it up. I think he first said it, but then tried to correct it or something.
And he may be trying to correct a lot of the things, and maybe he says some things to Cornell or Juno but I mean, he was clearly free to come and go as he wanted because he was doing that.
Right.
So
this talk sounds like drugs. But I don't think he was high during the interview. but just the color talk, stuff like that. That sounds like
Sounds very articulate.
yeah. And I don't know why people are so fascinated by the way. I was saying this on Discord because I was looking at the comments on YouTube. They're fascinated that he can talk, and I don't understand why that's such a. But I guess because people thought that he was nonverbal, and then people were thinking he was autistic.
Right.
I don't understand the
There's some
fascination. They're
people
like,
that he was
wow, he
autistic.
talks. I'm like, yeah. Or like he's so intelligent. He's just
Right. They said he was nonverbal, and somebody said he was autistic.
right. I think that's why. I'm thinking that's why.
Very,
I'm thinking that's why people were
very
so
smart.
yeah.
But what is the other thing? Because he did not, in my opinion, he didn't deny having relations with the mom.
Well, he said nothing sexual.
That's the way that I could put it.
He said nothing sexual.
So, did he say non-sexual?
He said there was. Well, he said nothing sexual happened. Is what he said.
Okay. I kept trying to listen, and I was just wondering if he was one of those, and I forget what they called it with the Kohlberger, the guys that choose to be celibate until.
Oh Jesus. Incel.
What is it?
Incel.
Incel?
Yeah. Is that what you're trying to say?
Okay.
I don't think he falls in that definition because one, I don't think he's choosing to be. I think he's just been with his mother all this time. It doesn't get out, doesn't socialize. I don't know necessarily that he's like incel type, but I do think he doesn't really like socialize with people or has had many interaction with women besides his mother, you know.
I mean,
He said
I
no
agree
intercourse.
that there's a level of weirdness.
Oh shit, y'all saying
going on
incel?
there, but I can't say that somehow he didn't kind of fall into it.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Incel is involuntary celibate. That's true. You know these guys don't have a choice. Yeah, incel is involuntary celibate. Flossie corrected that. Isn't a choice to be celibate, yeah. All right.
Maybe that's not the right word for it.
Yeah. Any final thoughts? Because there's like a bunch of other people. Any final thoughts on it?
I think he's as much a part of this as she was. It's sad to say, but I do think that he does play a part in this, and he's trying to cover his own ass at this point.
How dare you? Yeah, I feel like the tide has kind of changed a bit as far as for Rudy.
All right.
Thank you so much. Appreciate the
Good
call.
night.
All right, thank you. Take care.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop, bloop, bloop. 504, how you doing? Where you calling from? Thank you for holding.
Hello?
Hi.
Hey.
Thanks for calling.
I just want to give a perspective to someone who's been in the situation of having a family member SA. I can give you many perspectives because there was many of us children who dealt with it. And we all dealt with it differently. There were some of us who were able to get away, but then there were some of us who were left in a position to be stuck with the person who was committing it. Those two of us that got away were able to get away and know what happened to us. And it does differ from male to female on how you process it. So the females more likely process it, and the ones that got away were able to move on, to grow and just protect. When we became mothers, to protect our children. One of my cousins who is in the military, he processed it but got away from it and was able to protect his kids and just distance himself from what happened to him. Now, two of my cousins who were stuck in the position, they were still stuck being around this person because they were left to live with him, they dealt with it differently. The female cousin allowed her children to be around him, which she thought he had changed. They ended up having to go through what we went through as children. The boy who went through it as a child also went through it, but he had no children at the time. So when this came out, when my cousin's children, the female, when she found out her kids went through the same thing, we all came together and charges were pressed. Now the male who went through this didn't have a child at the time, but during the process ended up having a child once he was apprehended and arrested. Him and the male that it happened to were living together.
Oh.
He would not come out and help with the charges we were pressing to protect the other kids in the family. So a month before, me and his brother, who is one of the males who got away from it because he was given away at the time, we all came together and spoke to him and talked to him, and he was able to give us details that we didn't even remember. And a month before the trial is when he came out, which helped us to get him to not even take us to trial so the other kids didn't have to go through a trial and have him take a plea deal, pretty much, which he won't get out until he's like 80 years old. But when it comes to males, I don't know if it's harder for them to come through because they are a male and they have been subjected to a SA, but as you're growing and when you're able to get away, like me and my other cousin who was able to get away from it, we were able to, I guess, rationalize in our own minds what happened to us and to deflect, I don't know, I guess deflect the severity of what happened, because it was more than just him. He brought friends into it and girlfriends. So it was like a big thing. But the ones who got away from it was able to get away from it, especially when you come and you do tell someone, you're not believed, especially when that person is related to that person. So they're going to try and protect that other family member, even though they were aware. And we found this out way later that it was aware to his mother, my grandmother, our grandmother, that he had done this with older cousins that we had no clue about. But we were threatened so bad to where we were afraid, and we didn't know. We were trying to protect our family members because of the threats that we had received. And when you're done that way, you think the threats that they have against your other family members, you are going to believe they will follow through with the threats. So do I think he is now trying to protect his mother? Yes, I do. Because she doesn't threaten to protect, she doesn't threaten to protect her, to say she will commit suicide and she'll go to prison. So you have no choice, but you love that person no matter the damage that was done. You still have love for that person, but you want to protect them and don't get them in trouble because you don't want to lose them. So I do feel where he's coming from. Like, if she wouldn't have made that threat that was said, if it was said, I understand he wants to protect her. He doesn't want to lose his mom. He already lost his dad. That's all that's left. He lost his brother. You have aunts and everything, but when it comes to your mom, your dad, your brothers, your sisters, you don't want to lose those close family members. So her making that threat, I think now he's trying to protect her so he doesn't have to go through the pain of her death. And he will just take that on himself. And I think he's protecting her now.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I'm sorry you guys went through that. That's an interesting perspective that you bring to it. I mean, that could go with what Quanell was saying as far as like that she threatened to kill herself and like all this stuff, and they was trying to protect her. So
I just think a little, he's going to need time to process. He's going to need a lot of therapy to get through what he's been through. and hopefully he will know that she's not going to kill herself. And a life in prison is not as bad as what he went through. He can make peace with her later on, and that will be up to him if he wants that, once he gets the therapy he needs. But all of this is coming like so fast, and it's so like in the public. So him retracting anything he may have said, it doesn't. When my story got into the news, I went through about 9 months of just wanting to die. I didn't want anyone to know. I didn't want my kids to know. I didn't want my family to know. I didn't want my mom to know. My dad had already passed, so I was okay because I knew my dad would kill him. So when you go through what you think about everyone else's feelings, and then you think about the backlash you're going to get, and just the humility of having to tell your story in front of anyone besides investigators or detectives and therapists. It works when you're conscious. So he has a lot to go through and a lot of therapy, and I think he needs to start therapy ASAP and be able to tell his story without thinking what everyone else and how everyone else is going to feel, especially the one who subjected you to all the humility that comes with what you went through, regardless to your age, regardless to your race, anything like that. It affects everyone that goes through something like this more than you can expect. If you understand what I'm saying, it's hard to put in words because you can't imagine what people would think. You think people are going to blame you. He was a child. I mean, I'm pretty sure this started before he turned 18. So you were a child. And when you're a child, you're under your parents' guidance. So you think they're going to do the best for you. And even though this wasn't my parent, it was an uncle, it was still someone who was in charge of me, who was in charge of us kids. And when you go, I don't know if he might have went to someone in his past and told them little things that they didn't pick up on. But if you did and you went to someone and they shut you down and they punished you for it, you're not going to say anything to anyone ever again. So we don't know if there's someone that he might have went to as a younger child if this is going on. Because once you get shut down, you shut down. You don't tell your mom, you don't tell your dad, especially if you're being threatened. And that's the worst thing, is the threatening. We all had 3 people because of one person who was doing this to us. And when we went for help, we went to the same person who knew before all this started with us children that older children went through the same thing and nothing was said because it was a dirty family secret. And if his answer saying that there was another family member who was doing the same thing to other children when they were kids, which they did say, it makes sense that he wouldn't say anything to anyone because you get punished for it. You get threatened for it. Not only are you threatened by your abuser, but you are threatened by the people you think you can trust not to say something. So then it makes it 10 times worse because you think whatever they're threatening is going to happen to the ones that you love who have no clue what's going on.
Well, thank you for the call. I mean, any other final thoughts? Sorry, because I know I have other people waiting.
Yeah, no, that's all I want to say. But there is a lot of mental that goes into these types of situations, and you don't know what was said or who it was said to. And right now, he's given up the one person that he's been with for 8 years only. And that's who he is attached to.
Right.
And it's going to take a lot of therapy to get him through that.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for calling. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you,
Thank
iCkEdMeL.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Yeah, that's she's been through a lot. It's a pretty deep story. It's always weird when because I'm so used to like talking to people like forever on the phone. So when we do this online streaming, to be like, all right, thanks, bye. It's like so weird when you have to like cut it. But interesting perspective, crazy messed up story. I mean, I've talked to people that have had really messed up upbringings and growing up and all this generational stuff. And so well, that's the thing too with like people's different experiences and things that they've gone through in life, where when you see stories, your opinions a lot of times are based off of your experiences. Like everybody, I guess, right? Like for example, the psychopath crap that I went through with this doxing. Well, not doxing, but the crazy made up shit that these people were doing with Kylie Rodney. And so that when I see it happen to somebody else, I have more emotional feelings towards that. Being that I experienced that. The thing, I still don't know that that's the case with Rudy. I'm trying to hold out to be, try to get the benefit of the doubt, but it's good to hear that. It really is good to hear that perspective, but it's really hard to say. It's just this. I mean, Janie definitely is a messed up psycho manipulator, catfisher, whatever. So I can only imagine somebody being raised by her. But there's still just a lot of things not adding up, questionable things. All right, let me take the next caller. 904. Thank you for holding. How you doing? Where you calling from? 904.
Hi, sorry.
Hi, it's okay. How you doing?
Mel.
Hey.
Hey. We've talked several times
Who did?
over the last couple of years about Kylie and all
Oh,
the
yeah.
things. I was watching Pascal before you went live and taking some notes just on his commentary.
Yes.
As I had kind of some play devil's advocate with my opinions. He ultimately wasn't going to take callers, and then I saw that you went live, and so here I am.
Let's do it.
But I feel like I feel my thoughts will still relate based on your recent, lives and with what your callers are discussing, etc. So I wanted to say, if his story is legitimate, this really seems like a legitimate trauma response and trauma bond. When he talked about his visit to the hospital all those years ago, it was for a tumor on his ankle, which he seemed to think, based on the interview, was not that big of a deal. Not full-blown cancer, but yet she told him to exaggerate the pain. So, of course, that seems more like Munchausen, right? I believe him repeating this Stockholm syndrome in all these interviews is from not only family members trying to maybe explain what happened to him so he doesn't feel shame about staying with her and not reporting it, but also, recent media saying the same as we're all trying to figure it out. He said he had access to the web, but if he was isolated, like he said, it seems like he was trying to make sense of life through that outlet, which is sad in today's day and age. I think him talking about the colors and algorithms, which could absolutely be him on a hallucinogenic, but it could also be him associating colors to emotion. He's trying to make sense of the world outside of this protective guise of his mother. He's attracted to kindness and spreading love, as that is what he needed and wanted. And that's what the internet taught him. I mean, look at all the, George Floyd and all the movements and everything. So he could have been watching that stuff. And between that and so many voices preaching at him right now, it's like sensory overload. I believe Hugh Cornell as well. I don't think he would go worldwide lying. He has recordings, but I think that Rudy backtracked in this interview to state some quote unquote truth from their convo, but he didn't want to admit to the SA as he doesn't want to send his mother to jail. And also saying he wouldn't know some right from wrong due to his isolation. So he doesn't want to live with her, but he doesn't want to ruin her either. As he mentioned many times, that she's all he has known all these years. And his brother was the one that protected him. And after he died, he was like broken. So I could be wrong about all of this, but it's a very typical response from an abused child, if that is what happened. I do want to say this, though. I don't know if you caught this, but going back to Quinnell and what Quinnell said, I was watching Down the Rabbit Hole when she first posted the first and second. Rudy did say something. He was talking about the Stockholm Syndrome, and he said very matter-of-factly something about, you know, this is what falling in love with your captor is.
Right.
And I think that's just a Freudian slip, if there ever was one. I mean, it breaks my heart, but
I just felt when I heard that, I just took it as something you read online. Falling in love with your captor. It could be interpreted out many different ways. So you could interpret it as, oh, he's trying to say he fell in love with his mother, which is possible. But I took it as you look at the definition and falling in love with your captor, catching or feeling some type of emotional connection. That's how I took it. Let me ask you something though. So you believe Quinnell is not lying? You believe he's telling the truth?
I don't know his full history and how much of an activist he's been. All I can go on is what everybody said, and he's well known.
Just in this situation.
To me,
yeah.
Okay, so why would you go public, which this is now a worldwide case, like why would you go and risk your presence online and your integrity by lying about all this, lying about what a child said to you, saying, not threatening, but strongly suggesting to law enforcement that you have recordings and that you have no problem showing them at some point if need be? That seems a little crazy to me that he would just do that if he was just flat out trying to make money.
Okay, so you believe Quinnell's telling the truth. Rudy, he goes into this interview and tells Quinnell says that there was sexual, like he was abused. Like, I thought he said sexual abuse. So you must believe that police are lying then, because if Rudy tells this to Quinnell in front of police, and police came out and said they didn't hear anything like that, so which is which then?
I think it's police.
Somebody's got to be
more
not telling the truth.
Investigative. I think police are being more investigative. So they're investigative. So they're pulling certain truths from that interview. Quinnell is hearing what this child is saying, his emotional response. Police are not looking at emotional response. They're detached. They're trying to get facts. So I'm not saying they're lying, but I think that there was not physical, what's the right word? They couldn't see anything on him physically. They weren't gleaning from what he was saying that there was physical abuse or SA. I think when the reporter said to Rudy today, what do you think about law enforcement saying that, you're a grown man? So if that was happening, and I have to be honest, his response was very organic, not training from his mom. It seemed very organic and immediate response of, What do you mean? Like, he was surprised that police wouldn't believe him because he was an adult. I think that he is still covering for his mom. Like I said, he was getting some truth. He agreed to saying mom slept in the same bed. I needed boundaries. He gave some of the truth so as not to throw Quinnell under the bus. But I think that he also needed to shield the mother because he doesn't want to be the one responsible for sending her to jail for a charge of SA. That's just my opinion.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate the call.
Of course.
Thank you. Thank you for watching.
All right, y'all take care.
All right. Take care. Thank you. Bye. I want to go back and forth more, but there's people holding on. So let me take this next caller. Blenda in the chat, though, says he left 8 years ago, basically a day, and was 17, 18 years old. He's 25 to 26 now. He didn't speak like a 20-plus-year-old. Did he have developmental? No, he didn't have any. A lot of people seem to think he had developmental stuff or, I don't know, nonverbal. I think that's why people are like, they're surprised, and it's like a miraculous. I can't blame anybody because that's what I guess the mother was putting out. But people are like, oh my God, he can talk. What? You know? Okay. Next caller, it's blocked. Who's this? Block caller. Anonymous.
Can you hear me? It's Healing Within.
Hi, who's this?
Healing Within.
Who?
Healing Within.
Oh, okay. Dealing with it, something with it. Okay, amazing. Hi, how you doing?
I'm good.
Thank you for calling.
Okay, so I'm going to be...
Tell me.
No problem. Thank you for having callers.
Sure.
I'm going to be real quick. So she brought up the last caller. I haven't saw a lot of people talk about that in the chat. It seemed like that flew over everybody's head as far as him saying that his mom made him sleep in the bed with her. I'm not sure if people are just like, oh, well, that's nothing. Mom sleep in the bed with their son. Like, that's not normal. What mom sleeps in the bed with their teenage son? Now, just because he didn't get into details saying after that, and she would get butt naked, it's something strange with that alone. That's kind of weird that
right.
Your mom would make you sleep in the bed with her, right? Another thing that stood out as well to me that I think people are not looking at it for face value is him saying that mom did things to him to make him uncomfortable. And he would tell her, he said, I would tell her to stop, that made him uncomfortable. Now, I read a lot of comments and people were responding, that probably means that, she made him wash the dishes and, she probably yelled at him and it made him very uncomfortable. Well, no, it's the way he was saying things that kind of, he was throwing hints out there. He's saying she did things to me to make me uncomfortable. That was another thing. When they also said, well, the reporters that was interviewing him in that interview, they wasn't being specific. He even told them, Rudy, he said, be specific. They still seemed like they was too scared to kind of just say the specifics. What about the kissing? Is that true? What about?
I kind of wish they would have. I mean, I understand why they maybe didn't, but I kind of wish because it just there's this when we're not specific, then it just leaves so much guessing and yeah,
it does. And so they didn't really answer, but he said, oh, he said his response to that was he said something along, he said exactly, oh, not intercourse or anything like that. Well, Cornell never said anything about intercourse. We know exactly what intercourse is specifically. So he's saying specifically that he's not, doing the, but he, is intercourse, will we say intercourse is, kissing, laying in a bed with his mama, taking a shower, him touching her, is that intercourse? Maybe he said that, he even said that he didn't know if it was normal because he said something along the lines of he didn't have no one to kind of tell him if it was right or wrong or something like that. So and then here's the last thing I wanted to throw out there as well is, and I wish you would play the video again, is that everybody's saying Quanell's lying about the specifics with the SA allegations. But I want everybody to remember that Hood News Girl did a live while Quanell was still in the interview. And she's on live and you play that. And she's like, yeah, you guys, it's getting crazy. It's getting crazy, you guys. Yeah, this story is crazy. You're not going to believe it. Yeah, he just said that this. And she went into specifics, some of the same specifics that Quanell stated when he did the press conference that day, right? She stated those things as well. Now, people are just saying, oh, she's backing him. No, well, she's not only backing him, she was the one who also said that these things happened specifically in her life prior to Quanell doing the press conference. So if we're going to sit here and call out Quanell, we need to call out Hood News too, because she was the one to tell us about those sexual allegations as well. So that's all I wanted to say. And thank you for having me.
Well, thank you. I have seen that comment going around a little bit on Facebook and stuff like that. That I thought she was kind of co-signing what he said or whatever.
They both need to answer to that.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to get to the point. I don't know if Quanell does have evidence. He said he does. It might get to the nitty gritty where he might have to drop something or some sort of teaser or something. Maybe he doesn't want to drop the whole thing. Because at this point, his name and credibility, if he has whatever's left of it, I mean, there's people that do respect him and whatever. He is respected. There's people. He's very controversial. So there's things on both sides. But it's a big thing when the police did it and now Rudy did it. Well, kind of. It's kind of convoluted because he didn't say intercourse. I thought he said sexual abuse, or did he just say abuse?
He said it wasn't intercourse or anything like that.
No, but Quanell, didn't you say sexual abuse?
Nothing to me at all.
Quanell said sexual abuse, didn't he? Or just abuse?
I was saying intercourse. Rudy said that.
Right.
Did he say sexual abuse? Yeah, Quanell said that. But wouldn't those different things like that be in the category of sexual assault? Like when you touching, stuff like that, that's sexual assault, right?
Fuck. Yeah, I think so.
Someone without their approval, you're making them uncomfortable. They never said that, wouldn't that
these days,
it's not just intercourse or penetrating, right?
Right.
So that's sexual abuse as well. I think that we just think that it's supposed to be they're getting down actually, and that's just, that didn't happen. He's saying that didn't happen, but there were some other things that made him uncomfortable. And they even asked Rudy really fast, so can you tell us some things that stood out while you were there at the house or something? His response to that was, with her making me sleep in the bed. That was his response to them. But they never got into the detail. And being that Hood News said the same allegations that day first on her live, I'm surprised that she could just sit there and still interview him without saying, okay, well, what about this? And herself be specific, because she was the one to do the interview today, right?
So the thing with the interview, from what I saw, so this is what I think. Grizzly was there, but also Fox 26, and I guess she's friends with the guy. To me, from what I got, he conducted most of the interview, but she did get a couple of questions in. I don't know what kind of limitations she had. It seems like she talks to him behind the scenes, so I don't know what kind of conversations they've had behind the scenes.
Okay.
But I mean, it's a big contradiction for sure. It's definitely a big contradiction from what police are saying to what has been said by these two other people. So
right, exactly, yeah. So we need them both to prove something, both of them, because again, if you want to play your live or do a short of it, he said that while he was still in the interview. Hood News said that live. So that's all I wanted to say.
All right, thank you. Appreciate the call.
Thank you.
Thanks. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Uh-oh. All right. So we got a 954 number. Hold up. 954. How you doing?
Hey, Mel. It's Anthony. How you doing?
Anthony, what's up? It's been a while, man. How you doing?
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, this is an interesting case. With the mother, I think the mother really is a controlled mom, and she cannot release this kid just by his little statements that we witnessed earlier.
Right.
And it's like he's careful what he has to say. He might have some kind of repercussions, It's like he's limited on what he wants to say, and they blurred his face out. My fear is this kid's been put on some videos, if you will. You know how they show the mother on a motorcycle?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you look when you look at that?
Let's see.
You just see somebody on a motorcycle, right?
Yeah.
I look at it as she's with a group of people that are into this freaky stuff, in my opinion, from what I've seen personally out there. So,
really,
pardon me?
Really, like what do you mean, like the freaky stuff? Like
I've been around situations where you go, "What am I doing here?" Yeah,
right.
So the light's going to be shining on this thing, and the blurred face. He's afraid to be seen, which means that he was probably told by outside of the mother's circle. You better not tell anybody. Blah blah blah.
Right.
We're seeing the light being shined on human trafficking. I consider this under the same title. It's pretty sad what's going on with the children today.
What do you
got to
think
watch
about
them like a hawk.
What do you think about all that the color codes and stuff? You think he's trying to put out a message? The color purple, pink, whatever, red.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. The first thing that came to my mind, I go, I bet his mother listens to Strawberry. It's called Strawberry Alarm Clock, Incense Peppermints.
The fuck is that? What's that?
You remember that song?
No, I got to listen to it. Strawberry. What is it called?
It's called Strawberry Alarm Clock. The band,
Okay.
Incense Peppermints. That's when these guys did mushrooms.
Oh shit!
And they're
Okay.
psychedelic,
Mhm.
and they talk about the color or whatever.
Okay.
But if you listen to the lyrics,
All right, cool. I'm gonna check that out. Maybe after the stream, I'm gonna listen to it on Discord. We can listen to that.
but anyway, this son really her son wants to speak out, but I think he's been so brainwashed, he's limited on what he can say because he knows what will happen to him.
Oh, okay.
I think he's been put in a position he didn't like.
Okay.
So, but anyway, thank you for the
Thanks,
call.
bro. Appreciate it, man. Hope you're taking care. Hope you're doing good.
All right. Be well. Stay
All right.
well.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Next caller. And I'm going to listen to that song after. 773. 773, how you doing? Where you calling from?
I am calling from Chicago.
Chicago. Hi, how you doing? Welcome.
Hey, I'm good. So I have pretty extensive experience with mushrooms and psychedelics in general, and I had an unstable mother, and I've been through a lot of emotional trauma. Not sexual, so I don't have that. So there were a few things. First out, if you have questions about mushrooms and stuff, yes, you can get fucked up if you have a fucked up mom putting you through shit while you're tripping.
Right.
So I don't know if you know, there was a family cult, I believe in the 70s, a Manson too. Obviously, he gave all his families LSD, and he would tell them shit like he's God, and it just made them believe him more. There's another one that was a female. Her name was Ann Hamilton. She stole 28 children and would put them in dark rooms, put them on acid, put a fog machine in there, and then walk in wearing all white with like light shining on her.
Wow.
So you're gonna.
Wasn't the whole that one with the LSD? Because I've heard of a couple of cults. I think like on LSD. I feel like LSD is just so much more intense than shrooms. And
I like it. It's well, I
Depends.
gotta say it's not per se. The only thing is when you take acid, you don't know how much you're getting.
Right.
With mushrooms, you can take a mushroom or you can take a lot.
Right.
With this 28 kids, though, she was injecting them with acid.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I believe this kid went through some shit, and with my mom, she was pretty unstable too. Not to this degree, but I, have PTSD from years of emotional and mental abuse and turmoil with that. I cannot imagine tripping while she was being crazy. Like, I mean, I was tripping on my own time, recreationally having a
Right.
good time. But if I was home, like, there were times where, like, she would call the cops or, like, we would fight. Like, I don't know. I think he was clearly brainwashed with it,
I can't see myself volunteer. If I had to deal with somebody like that, I can't see myself being like, let me take shrooms to soothe myself to deal with this woman. I feel like it's only going to amplify shit way more. I can see drinking. I can see taking pills.
I do not think he willingly, like, I think his mom was like, oh, do these probably or something. Like, there could have been random effects that were good to him because he does sound like he's woke. He sounds like he opened his mind, you know? I mean, all right, it's a little intense with the color talk, and I don't know what to say.
The third eye.
But
is your third eye open? Have you opened your third eye?
Like, I mean, look, you can, when you can go through some bullshit like he went through and he's still saying be positive, I would say that opens your third eye.
But have you opened your third eye?
I wouldn't. I mean, would I call it that? I don't know. I have tapped into the universal energy that I think we're all on the same plane as, and I've asked questions and, you know, still continue to question the universe, you know, but I think that's the person I am.
Can opening the third eye be dangerous?
Taking a lot of shrooms and being unstable mentally can be dangerous. It cannot kill you, but depending, because your mind has to be strong. Like, a bad trip doesn't have to be a bad trip. It's like you confronting your demons and stuff and like all your shadows within you. But if you have toxic ass people, like, nah. I know someone who took ecstasy with her ex-boyfriend who was abusive, and now she's triggered. She can't take that shit. She had a bad time on ecstasy.
Yeah.
You know? So I just think the drugs are really strong. I don't know why.
Let me ask you this question, because somebody's asking in the chat one of their thoughts. Somebody said, Dragonfly Lady says, are mushrooms addictive?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I wouldn't say addictive.
Yeah.
I have some upstairs, you know, like I keep it on hand. But I don't take it. When I was younger, I wanted to take any drug I could to not feel anything, you know? Right. So I would take what I knew to stay away from meth and heroin, of course, because I had people die from that shit. But I wouldn't say it's addictive. I would say that being in another mental state, he could have been in a better mental state. Who knows? Maybe he was listening to music. That fucking Strawberry Alarm Clock, maybe.
Do you know that song?
I don't, but I did.
Okay.
Dude, I liked it on my Spotify after you said that.
Yeah, I'm going to check it out after the stream.
Yeah, but I mean, everything sounds better, feels better if you're in that state. So maybe if his mom's like doing some shit in the room and he's by himself, maybe he is vibing. You know, maybe that is the best time he is having.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you. Any other? So you believe him? You believe he's like traumatized and like this woman's crazy shit?
I mean, he's absolutely. I mean, I think it's kind of fucked up for people to think that he's in on shit. What does he gain from that? He don't got money. He don't got nothing. He doesn't even want to be famous.
Right.
Like, and moms, I mean, all humans can be fucked up. We have the willingness and potential to destroy and create, and moms can be fucked up. And I think that obviously the death of his brother really affected them all. I think that she was probably fucked up before that in many ways anyway, because he was already depending on his brother for shit.
Right.
I don't know if there was sexual abuse. There was definitely, I mean, what do you want to call sexual abuse, right? Because I got pregnant before I was 15, dude was 18, but it's hard for me to call that rape because I consented, but I was a kid, you know? So it depends how you want to call it, really, how that person wants to call it. It sounds like some shit went down that wasn't cool and is not okay.
Right.
But
so,
I don't know what degree I want to do.
Let me end off on this then with you. So do you think Cornell's lying?
I don't think he's lying. I don't know what was said in the room.
Do you think police are lying?
Right? They said that?
It claims it, yeah. Do you think police are lying?
I think the police have some shit with her, clearly. You know, they're being fucked up. Thankfully, everyone and you and all the YouTubers are, like, putting heat on this, so something maybe can happen. What can even happen to her? At least she, like, stole people's money, essentially.
Yeah.
Something like that. But I don't think dude's lying. I wish if it was recorded, it could be released, because then it would just clear everything up. I think whatever he heard in that room affected him, and then, you know, he gave his account of it.
Okay. All right, awesome.
So I do believe that. Yeah.
Thanks, appreciate the call.
For sure. You know, hello, chat. Have a good night, everyone. You know, peace, vibes.
Peace.
And, love you, dude.
Thank you. Love you too. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. Let's do shrooms together. I'm just kidding. 732. There might be a chase. 732. How you doing? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, buddy? Calling from Atlanta, man.
Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna just kind of deep dive into this really quickly. I do have history of drug usage. I have 20 child abuse cases that I went through with my parents.
Wow.
I really went through it, and all of the kids end up running away from the house at a young age because it was that bad. Hearing this story and seeing it play out, I just can't fathom that he is the way that he is. Because when I went through everything that I went through, I wouldn't be talking to the news media right now. A few days later, I think the interview he did with Q was his moment to say whatever to get out from his mom's grip. That's what I truly believe. Now he's in, with other people, he's doing therapy now, I'm sure, and seeing counseling. When I was heavily abused, they took me out and I had to stay, in the child state care. They put me in the hospital, a mental hospital. They did all these evaluations. I'm sure they're doing the same thing to him. They point you to colors. What do you see here? They take these abstract pictures. What do you see here? What do you look there? They put me on pills, on antidepressant pills. It was that bad. And I would start stuttering, and I was losing my mind on the antidepressant pills. So him just rambling off and all that, that's just, he's probably on some antidepressants. He's going through therapy, but the accusations that he's told Cornell, I think it was just that, just him wanting to get out of the grip of his mom. If you listen to the latest interview, the things he said, there was nothing in there of pure concrete to solidify he was in prison. He was just so traumatized. There's nothing there. He said he wanted to go live life and be out. And you know what? His mom had a scare. He ran away for 2 days. And yeah, she probably overreacted. I'm Latino too. I know how it is. And she locked him down and she, kept him locked down. But wait a second, he still was able to go to the neighbor's house and down the street and hang out with the kids. If you are in such a desperate situation, you take any avenue to reach out to someone for help. Get me out. Get me out. You don't sit on this for 10 years. You just don't. It don't make no sense for all the stuff that he's saying.
So you think, he's kind of covering for the mother or whatever? Or you think there's something that's just off about the story?
I don't think he's covering up. I think he's exaggerating the whole scenario. He's just exaggerating. This was his moment to get out. And let me tell you, he's been on the internet and he's been watching other cases. He's been watching kidnap cases, those girls that escaped from the basement, and he sees what happens, along the line. You grip this on, you say this, you say that, and then bang. You get the media attention, you get all these people, you get all this money, you get all this help. He don't sound traumatized in that interview. Me, I was bawling, crying. It took me years to stop crying of the stuff that I went through. I wasn't going to no news media. You know what I'm saying? Wow. The accusation against his mom is way too far. It's too much of a horror for him to be okay like that. And if you're on drugs and you're doing all these drugs and all these heavy drugs for this amount of time, his mind is pretty well put together to be so heavily on drugs. I've been on drugs. I lived in Philly. I've been out on the street. I know what drugs do to you. And it's just a few days later and the kid is talking, you know, pretty coherently. He's just on antidepressants right now. He's in the hands of the state. Of course, they're going to give him, you know, something to deal with this depression. But he was a kid. He wanted to go out. He wanted to have fun. He wanted to live life. And his mom locked him down. His mom was like, no, you know, you're going to be here. And the thing about the sleeping in the bed and the kissing and stuff, when his brother passed away, you know, it's very well possible his mom was sad, heartbroken, and just wanted to maybe have a hug and sleep, have, you know, cuddle in the bed with me. You know what I'm saying? She probably had times of missing her son, and that's her son. You know, I mean, the thing is, we're missing the timelines. We're missing a lot of the timelines. There's no description of timelines. When did it could have stopped? In other Latin cultures, you know, they kiss their children. You know, not so much today, but many years ago. You know, toddlers. You know, we kissed in the mouth with our parents. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's not so much today, but back in the day, I will tell you, there was a very large thing that would happen. I mean, not as teenagers, you know, but as kids, that's something that happened. But there is no timeline that he's not saying anything. Yeah, when I was 17, when I was 16, you know what I'm saying? So it don't make no sense, man. There's holes in this story.
I really appreciate you calling and sharing what you've been through. And it's really interesting to hear that side of things too, like what you've been through, but like also saying that you don't really believe his story versus we had some of the other callers that have been through that and believe his story. Yeah. And I'm sorry you went through that, man. That's, and it's just hearing these calls too. It's like, damn, that shit happens way more than, I mean, you hear the statistics and stuff, but then when you actually hear people calling in and telling their story, it's like, holy shit. You know,
I semi agreed with from two callers ago. You know, she was pretty well spoken on it. But this kid has been on the internet. He's been studying the internet. He's been studying these scenarios. You know, when he says falling in love with your captor, come on, man, come on. He's been studying this. You know, he's been playing this in his head. And this is exactly what he's doing. He's saying whatever he had to say. Now it's gotten so big. Now the police and everything is national. He's got to backpedal because, you know, if he says the things that Q said, you know, how is he keeping his composure? If I was raped and essayed by my mom and all this, how are you keeping your composure? I would just be bawling, crying. I'm just being honest. And then but everybody, the people that are on his side, they're emotionally in touch with his so positive speaking right now. Oh, he's just on this positive note. He's on this so positive note. Man, give me a break. Give me a break. If it's been, 7 days now, and you've been through this, you wouldn't be holding your composure like that as a kid. He was sheltered. His mom tried to shelter him, did lock him down, and yes, she probably went she went overboard. You know, but I was in jail. I was in prison. No, son, you was not. You was hanging out with your friends every couple of days. If he was online talking to people and saying, and he had conversations with people online, you know what I would be doing? Hey, man, I'm in this typing. I'm in this terrible situation. Can you help me get out of here? I jumped out of 2-story buildings. Watch what I say. I orchestrated to get away from my father.
Oh.
It was a big orchestration. You know? So I'm just keeping it real, y'all.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate you
there's
calling.
holes in this story.
Yeah, I appreciate you calling and giving your perspective, man. Thank you. It's nice to hear a guy calling too, so thank you, man. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you putting the light to this and the calls and everything. I appreciate it, buddy.
All right, take care, man. Thanks.
All right.
All right. Hey, I mean, people. What he's saying is it's not that crazy. I feel like everybody has different experiences and process things differently. So it's always weird. It's not weird, but it's always hard to be like how somebody would handle something or deal with something, you know. But I like to hear people's different thoughts, experiences. There was a chase and it got canceled. I mean, not it got canceled. It was foot bail. I was a little nervous because like we have these people on hold. I can't let these people go. But the person foot bailed before the choppers even got there. I'm going to get you 614, you're coming next, and 325, you're next, and then 248. I put a poll in here because I was thinking about this question as this person was talking. And this is a question that I've thought about for a long time. And this whole thing comes into the parenting thing. And when I asked this poll, is it okay for parents to kiss their kids on the lips? And I'm asking you personally. I don't care about whatever culture, whatever you feel. Not whatever you feel, how you feel. Not what society, what Tommy, Jane, and Lee tell you how to feel. How do you feel? Do you kiss your kids on the lips, or do you think like it's okay or not? Me personally, I don't. I don't kiss my daughter on the lips. I don't kiss my mother on the lips. I think that's too. I think that's like next level. Personally, no. I see people do it all the time. I think my daughter's mother used to kiss my daughter on the lip a little bit, kind of like at first. For me, I don't do it. I think it's kind of just a little weird. I know about people others see it differently. They can kiss on the lips all day long, and that's normal for them. Me personally, no, I'm not kissing my daughter on the lips. I mean, I think I've happened by accident, like a quick kiss or whatever. But like intentionally, like going to kiss my daughter on the lips, like would I be kissing my child on the lips? No. That's just how I feel. I think it's kind of weird. And I know some people are going to disagree with that, and I like that. I don't do that. I know I'm going to get messages later. No, but I do it all day long, and I make out with my child. Nothing wrong with that. 614, how you doing? Where you calling from?
Hey, I'm calling from Ohio.
Hi, how you doing? Thank you for calling. Ohio.
First, I need to tell you guys that I'm a baby boomer. I think I'm a lot older than most of you people. And I don't know if you guys remember the Sean Hornbeck case or the Elizabeth Mark case. When people have...
Elizabeth Mark?
When people... And Sean Hornbeck. Sean Hornbeck was the kid that was kidnapped when he was 8 years old. Mm-hmm. And then he got discovered when he was like 14 or 15, when the guy that kidnapped him tried to abduct another kid. So, like I said, I'm older than most of you guys, so you may not remember that Sean Hornbeck case. Mm. But a lot of you probably remember the Elizabeth Smart case.
Yes.
But all I'm saying is when people who have been held prisoner for years are finally free, they don't act like this Ruby kid is acting.
But let me ask you something. The Elizabeth Smart case, do you know what was her reaction when she's finally out? Because she was like, she was held captive. I forgot the whole story, but she was close to home, right? She was held captive, and then they started giving her freedoms or something over what?
Yeah, and it was in Utah. It was in Utah. She was actually in the streets of Utah, and like she had like a veil over her head. She was like, preaching with the guy, spreading, the guy. The man that kidnapped her and his wife, they were both considered to be so mentally insane that they haven't even been tried yet. Mm. They neither one of them have ever been deemed able to, competent to stand trial.
Right.
But when you're free, you don't. It's just like when Cornell was walking around with the kid with the blanket over his head and all that stuff. I go, you don't do. This kid is free. He wants to be out there saying, "I'm free. I want to show my face. I want to tell my story, and I want the person that did this to me to be held responsible." I mean, he's just not acting. He's not acting like a person that's been, what I would say, in hell for 8 years. He has not been in hell for 8 years. And if you were, you would be so, I'm free. I want to tell my story. I'm free now, And I think the police know all this. And I think the police know a lot more. I think there's going to be charges coming down against both him and the mother. I think the police are just, they're just keeping quiet, But when those charges come down, everybody's going to be shocked. I think Cornell's going to be shocked because I think Cornell was used.
Ooh.
I don't know why he doesn't see it. I don't know why he doesn't see it yet, but he will. And probably, what's her name? Grizzy.
Grizzy Hood News.
In the hood. I think she's going to be shocked. I think this kid and the mother is using everybody.
Wow.
And he's too articulate. People that have been held prisoner, like he called himself, like Cornell said he called himself a slave.
Right.
They don't go around using words like Stockholm syndrome, intercourse. And he was so articulate. I just saw the interview when I came on live with you. He's too articulate for somebody that's been shied away, held in rooms, locked in rooms, and the neighbor says that he's never been sober whenever she talks. He's too articulate. I almost said to myself, is that really him? Is this really him? Especially since, his image has been pixelated and blocked out. I wonder if that's really him. Because I just would not have expected the person that was so articulate telling, speaking in the interview today, would have been walking around with that blanket over his head and sitting in the car and not saying anything. That doesn't match with the person that was doing the interview today, to me. Right. And I think it's all a scam.
Oh.
I think we're all going to be. I think we're all going to be shocked when all the facts come out. And I think the police are just letting them hang themselves with their own rope.
Right. That's going to be interesting to see what happens. That's what I'm saying. I think the story from here could complete that out unless Cornell comes and fires back or the police finish their investigation and some crazy shit happens. The craziest outcome to me would be like they both get charged or something. That would be the craziest turnout. Or nothing could happen. Nobody gets charged.
I think that's where it's headed. And I think Cornell will have to admit that I think he was just used like everybody else. He just doesn't see it yet. I think he was used.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate the call. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on this.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I really enjoy your shows.
Thank you. Take care.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, let me get these other two callers. They've been holding for a long time. 325, been holding for 33 minutes. 325, how you doing? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Amanda.
Hi.
From
Amanda,
Texas.
thank you for holding from Texas. All my exes live in Texas.
So I want to go into it about why there's no charges. Because in the state of Texas, in order for a charge to be brought against someone, the victim actually has to report it. And he has not filed a report. So therefore, HPD cannot force him to file this report.
Right.
So they're not negligent. Not only that, in order to get a protection order, which everybody's saying, why don't you get a protection order? Well, in order to get a protection order, you have to fill out the report. Then it goes to if it's immediate need, it goes to an ex parte trial. If not, they just grant a protection order.
Right. Right. And I mean, if Rudy went in there saying what he said today, there's nothing cops would be able to charge her with anyway, Janie.
You're correct. And
I mean,
also, when it comes to if anything was sexual, it's actually in Texas they don't call it incest; they call it inappropriate relationship.
oh, is that what it's called? Let me ask you. So, kissing would be considered incest, I guess, right? Or what, I wonder what the legal thing over there is as far.
No, kissing would not be that. I'll go back to your question about the kissing on the lips.
Yeah, tell me
I'm
what you
actually,
think. You're a kisser.
I was raised with German relatives, and we all kiss each other on the lips. A simple hello, goodbye, a peck. I do that with my own children.
So not only just your own kids, you guys gave it to anybody. Everybody you say hi to, you all kiss each other on the lips.
No.
No? Oh, because I thought you were saying at first maybe just family, but it made it seem like everybody, people on the street, you guys are all just kissing each other. No?
No, it's just like a greeting.
But you guys are kissing though.
Yeah.
So is it just family and friends, or is it just, hey, how you doing? You're at work and you're kissing people on the lips as a greeting, as a hi?
Did you kiss your children on the lips whenever they were children?
Me? No. When Maddie was first born, when she was a little baby girl, like newborn, I did, and then I was like, I don't think it's appropriate. I don't want to do that. I don't do it at all. I think it's weird. Like if I were to go kiss my 6-year-old daughter on the lips, I think it's weird. I give her a kiss on the cheeks. I give her a kiss on her forehead. You know, I love her to death. I just don't see the need to kiss her on the lips. I see that as another type of affection. That's like, to me, that's intimacy with somebody. That people, my girlfriend, that's who I'm kissing on the lips, not my mother, my grandmother. I mean, I know these people are like, I guess, pop kissing, but I don't kiss my daughter on the lips. And I feel like women, they can get away with that shit more. For guys, everything is unacceptable for men to do, fathers and shit. So God forbid a father does that, but I don't think it's right anyway. I'm not going to tell somebody what to do with their kids, but, and I just, when I see people doing that, I think it's a little weird.
That's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
Can you go back to the clip where you have played it repeatedly, where Janie is talking to Q and Janie is saying that Janie's sisters is reporting all of this stuff about the locks and all of that, and Q tells Janie that and about, he asked Janie about the basement. Do you have a basement? And she says no. And then Q tells her that, what was it? An unanswered, when you don't answer an allegation, that makes you look like a lie.
Oh, you're talking from the Daily Mail. That was a good clip. We should play that if I can find it. I had that earlier. I'll try to find it.
Because the allegations, this is not just Janie. This is not Janie. This is Sylvia has not been in any press conferences or anything else. You've read statements that have been said by her.
Right.
But she has not come out. So Sylvia is the one that took care of the grandmother, and they lived in Katy at the time.
Yeah, Sylvia took care of the grandmother after like 14 years, and then the grandma got put in hospice, and they were able to take her out of hospice, so she got her for a short time before she died, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Just checking. Yeah.
Okay, so you've only got two sisters. You've got Pauline and you got Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
Pauline is the one that lives in Houston. But Pauline is the one that's been very, very vocal and has a lot of animosity towards Janie, and it's not for that.
What do you think it's for?
I am not sure.
Oh.
All I know is that they have been separated for a long time, and I think, like, because Houston. Okay, let's go back to the locks.
Okay.
The whole things with the locks. The people that have said that has been her sister, but it's been proven that there is not locks on the doors. They
Well,
said padlock.
that's a great thing they bring up. I was wondering about that because I think it was a private investigator that said that. There was a news article talking about padlocks on doors, right?
Because of what was said by the aunt.
Oh, that came from the ads. Okay.
Yeah. But nobody wants to talk about this rosary.
The rosary, what, around Rudy's neck for 8 years in the end?
The rosary around, or the one that supposedly he had that the aunt retrieved after Rudy left.
Oh, that.
The night
Okay.
that there was a burglary call.
Yeah.
And then whenever asked if they gave Rudy back the rosary, and she said no. She gave him another one.
Right. I don't know. I was confused with that. That confused me. I didn't understand what that was about. I guess she said he dropped it or something. I was really confused about that.
But she just goes up there and sneaks and finds it. And there's a burglary call in the time frame.
So what do you think? Final thoughts. So do you feel, Rudy's just been brainwashed?
Well, having known that Q has been has taken on several false cases that included the Katrina evacuee, where the third ward girl claimed that she was sexually assaulted, raped by Katrina evacuees, and then the uproar with all the Katrina evacuees, they filed suit against him, and it ended up being a false. He took that case, and it ended up being false. Then you also have the NFL guy that the father says that the HPD excessive force, and they had the camera and showed it, and he went all out just like he's doing now. He went all out on those two cases and ended up being lies. And then you also have the fact that he has been, from his clients, has been, lawsuits have been filed by several of his clients because of he presented himself as a lawyer, which he's not, and said that they would like beat gun charges and get all of this stuff, like expunge records, all of this stuff, and yeah.
Wow.
It's all there. I mean, you can see all of this stuff. It doesn't take much to look at. I agree with you for a lot of things with like corruption and police brutality and many of the laws that are just jacked up. But this, no.
Well, thank you so much for the call. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Bro! So, who sent this to me? Stace. Stace sent this to me. Yo, they are coming for Zav. They're coming for Zav. That Fox 31 Denver. YouTubers charging Gannon style. I got one more call. I'm going to take it right now. And I'm going to get all the super chats. And then if you guys tell me if you want to reopen the calls or not, we'll do whatever. Chase and Compton. Maybe we'll just finish this last call in case there's a chase. I feel like shit's trying to pop off. It's over. Oh, no, that chase, whatever chase was going on is over. All right, let me take this call, and then I'll get you guys in the super chats, and I'll talk with you guys in the chat for a second here. 248, thank you so much for holding. I'm sorry about that. 248. 248.
No.
Hey.
Hello?
Hi, who's this?
Hey. Hello?
Hi.
Oh, it's Shayna.
Shayna, hi. Thank you for
I
calling.
don't think you ever. Yeah, thanks. I don't think you ever knew how to pronounce my name because it's spelled funny. But
Wait, so Shayna?
yeah, it's Shayna, but it's
Shayna.
spelled like China.
Oh, okay. Yeah, probably.
Spelled funny.
Knowing
Yeah.
me, I would have read it like that, China or something. Shayna. Okay.
Yeah.
How you doing?
But yeah, what's up? I'm good. My sister actually told me about you like months ago.
Oh,
She was like,
nice.
"Oh, I think you would like this guy," and I'm like, "Okay." And now I've become obsessed. Like,
Oh, right,
seriously,
amazing.
like every day I'm doing my makeup. I'm like,
You watching me?
watching Mel.
Thank you.
Yeah, but anyways, I just became like annoying about this whole thing, and I don't know. I feel like the guy is messed up. Like he's obviously been, there's something wrong with him. Like he's either got like autism or like something's not right. And his mother is definitely controlling something. Like something's not right about the whole situation. So I don't know. I mean, I'm glad everything worked out. He's out of it.
He's alive. I guess he's safe.
Yeah, I mean,
So you think
something
Cornell
isn't
lied?
right.
You think Cornell made
The
this shit
mother's
up?
not right. Yeah, I do.
You think he's lying?
I don't. Yeah, I mean, and I don't think that he's lying. I mean, he could be. He could be lying. I mean, it could be. But something isn't right because when they ask him about his mom and he starts crying, like he's sitting there and he's crying.
Yeah.
That I'm like, if it was like, I don't know, he's crying like he's trying to get out of that. He wants help.
Well, I don't know, man. This. Oh, what do you think about the kissing thing? What's your thoughts on that, real quick, too? Sidestep.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you this. Okay, so I'm not like, I don't know. My dad always, I feel like he always wants to give me a kiss. He always wants to give me a kiss on the lips. My whole life.
Your whole life, even now.
And like since I was a kid. Yeah, and well, now I feel like when he gives me a hug and gives me a kiss, I kind of turn my head because, like, I don't know, but sometimes I feel like he still wants to give me a kiss, and I don't know because I still feel the same. Like, I'm like, is that weird? Is it not? Like, I don't know, but like, I want to give my dad a kiss, like, but I don't know, and I feel like I don't know. I don't know how people will be with that. I mean, I think when you have a kid that's older, like, yeah, you don't do that. I don't know.
Okay, that's cool. No, I was curious. Yeah, I appreciate that. It's an interesting thing because I've thought about this thing many times, especially with my daughters, but I never really thought about it before when my daughter was born, and I've seen families do that. When my baby was first born, like a newborn, I think I might have or whatever. But then after that, I was kind of like, I don't know. It's just like a little, I just,
And I don't know if it's like an old school thing, like, because I feel like my dad always wants to give me a kiss on the lips. And it's not anything weird. Like, there's nothing weird about it. But me, I'm just kind of like, I might turn my head or whatever. But I feel like in the last few years of me getting older, I've noticed it more, and I'm just like, I don't know. Is it weird? Is it not weird? I don't know.
Right. It's funny.
I don't know. I mean,
all right. So you don't believe Cornell, right?
no. I mean, I think I do, and I also believe that the guy, he's like, he might be autistic or something. Like something might be wrong with him.
A lot of people seem to think that. I haven't heard that he is at all, but a lot of people are flabbergasted that he can talk like a normal person, I guess.
Exactly. That's why it's weird when people say like well, he might have been in on it, but then it's like, well, I don't know. But he seems like he's like on the spectrum somewhat, but then he's all there, but I don't know. And it could be Munchausen too. I think the mother's fucked up.
Right.
You know, so
All
sorry
right.
if
Well,
I'm not
no,
super
you're good.
clear, but
You're good. All right. Any other final thoughts, or is that it? On Rudy?
well, I hope they come to an agreement with all this stuff, and you know, they figure out. I hope he gets the help he needs, and they figure out everything. And you know, I'm sure his mother's crazy. I think we all know his mother's crazy.
Yeah,
but,
for sure. No question. Definitely.
Yeah, I hope he gets the help that he needs and can live in the society that he wants to live in, because I couldn't imagine living in that situation that he did.
Right.
You know?
Well, thank you so much for calling, and tell your sister I said thank you for telling you to watch the channel. I appreciate that.
Yeah, Mel, thanks so much.
Thanks.
Nice talking to you.
All right. Nice talking to you too. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Had really, really good callers. Had some good calls tonight. Always puts me on edge when we take these calls. The kissing thing, it's an interesting one. 37% said yes, that it's okay, and 63% said no, not okay. And it's subjective. I don't think there's particularly like a wrong answer. I mean, for me, kissing is like a big thing. I'm very like intimate. It's a very intimate thing for me. I know some people. First of all, half of these people don't even know how to kiss. And there's nothing behind their kisses. You go to kiss some of these people, like, what the are you doing? So maybe for them it's like nothing, like a kiss on the lips, oh whatever, right? Because they've never kissed their entire lives. They don't really know how to kiss. They don't know how to make out or anything. But it's also like maybe it's not even that. It's how you look at it. How you look at it, I guess. I just think I don't know the kissing thing. To me, I just find it kind of weird. And I'm glad to, because I remember one time my daughter told me, somebody in my family, somewhat immediately, but somebody tried to like, not in a bad way, they tried to give her like a pop kiss my daughter was like, no. Like she was like, no. She knows. Like, no. So like we don't really do that, but I've seen families do that. Give them a kiss or whatever. I also sometimes think it's a form of control. I think some of these parents want to control their kids and shit. So come over here and kiss me. You don't got a choice. Kiss me. You grow them up, raise them like that and shit, and they always got to kiss you and shit. Yes, mommy. You know? Yes. So I feel like for some people it's a form of control too. Want to manipulate and control these kids. Texas boy mom says Q was hoodwinked. He might have got. Q Cornell might have got. All these people out there don't know how to kiss. No, they don't know anything about affection. So. I don't know what I'm ranting on about. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. You kiss your cat on the lips? It could be a generational thing for sure. It could be a generational culture thing. But yeah, for me personally, I don't do it. And that's a true thing too. Some Marines said cold sores. It could be, there's so much things that could go around. I love my daughter very much. I give her big hugs. I still carry my daughter when I can, just for a little bit. She's getting tall. I'm gonna try to, for as long as I can. If I can carry her, I'll carry her when I can. Sometimes, I'm a very loving person, but yeah, no, I don't do that. Damn, it's 1 a.m. What happened to today? What? And I also think it's more socially acceptable for women to do it, not as much men. Hey, PB and J. My cat's feelings. I guess that's it. I guess we did pretty good. Let's watch this clip. We did pretty good. They are coming. I don't know what this is. It's like a media. This is good though. But this is a media.
Fox 31, of course, has been following the investigation into 11-year-old Gannon Stouck's murder for years. His stepmother, Letitia Stouck, found guilty of killing her stepson. The verdict came down in May, but tonight, more controversy brewing in the now closed case.
YouTubers are reportedly charging people to view Gannon's autopsy photos. Fox 31's Talia Cunningham is in studio with the very latest. All new at 9. Talia.
Well, Erica, 2 self-proclaimed true crime YouTubers are facing some serious backlash.
Are you a woman? Homer, if I got lips, can you kiss me? I would, as long as you're a woman.
Tonight, Gannon, who's pictured here, was killed back in 2020. Medical examiners say the 11-year-old suffered 18 stab wounds, blunt force injuries, and a gunshot to the.
Yeah, this is just like a horrible, freaking, just really, really bad case story.
jaw. So the 2 YouTubers reportedly charged their patrons to view the gruesome.
So they're talking about Zavga and I think Natasha Cooper.
Autopsy photos, and people are furious about it. They go by the names of Zav Girl and Natasha Cooper. And
I can't believe I'm seeing this shit. This is so crazy. And you know what? Honestly, this is a bad look for these people, but these people have never looked good to me, in my opinion, anyway. But this kind of looks bad on YouTubers too. Like this type of shit could like really make YouTube be like, we need to start looking into these YouTubers, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, because sometimes YouTube, they broad stroke shit. They don't just, sometimes they'll do the specific stuff, but they also do broad stroking, right? So this could affect a lot of people. You know, this is, you're in the news for this. I hope I never get in the news for like something like this. I mean, you don't know what's going to come with this online stuff. I couldn't see myself doing something like this, but you just never know what's coming your way.
Claim to have a passion for understanding human behavior. So Zab Girl has posted multiple other videos that you see on your screen, but many people say she's gone too far, exposing the images of the murdered child and then charging people to see it. The YouTuber addressing why she's charging money, stating she put a lot of time and hard work into making her video and lining it up with the coroner's audio to the autopsy photos. Basically, the effort that went behind that post. The district attorney of Colorado Springs is calling it disgusting.
This just keeps those wounds open. They know.
This is just so bad, man. I don't know how. I guess there's no coming back from it. Excuse me. I guess with time, maybe. I don't know if it's too late for an apology. Is it ever too late for an apology? I don't know.
That Gannon's body is being paraded around essentially on the internet superhighway, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. And it's
Stacey, kiss me.
It's just grotesque.
So Zap Girl did address the backlash in a now deleted post on YouTube defending her actions. It reads in part, quote, "The reality of the situation is that different people feel differently about this. Some people genuinely think making a video, including the autopsy photos, is bad, and I respect their opinion and feelings. Other people, like
You're
myself,
right. In fact, could work too.
think the autopsy photos and the coroner discussing them as interesting and informative and are able to view it all in a more scientific, detached way." So the YouTuber went on to say that she's been receiving some threats from people all across the country. I did check on that Patreon link tonight, and that entire page has since been removed. And coming up tonight, a little bit later, we have reaction from Gannon's family.
Reaction from Gannon's family? They posted yet? No. Oh, is his family gonna actually go on the? Oh shit! Let me see what this
development.
In studio, Talia Cunningham, we have reaction from Gannon's moved. And coming up tonight, a little bit later, we have reaction from Gannon's family.
And I just wonder if they're talking about like social media posts or did they actually talk to them? Oh man, that's. Yeah, Manny says karma for dragging you through the mud with lies. That whole situation was, I don't know. I've never thought I would deal with something like that on YouTube. I mean, I always knew there's something could happen because when you're doing this online stuff, maybe it's only like a matter of time type of thing, you know? But I never thought somebody with 3 million subs, right? Like, wow. And somebody that would have that much time that has that much followers. Like, damn, bro. Got a lot of time in his hands. The boy was hopping on everybody's panel. I'm not even like a panel hopper like this. Guy had all the time in the world. I'm like, damn. So the kissing thing, that was an interesting topic. I know there's people that are going to probably feel different and stuff. Maybe it's your personal choice. But it is interesting how the one caller was saying how it goes into like, okay, you're a child, maybe you're a baby, you're a child, then you're like a teenager, then you're a full-grown adult, and your parent is still kissing you on the lips. You know, I don't know. Or trying to, you know? I was like, wow. Let me see if there's anything. I guess maybe that's it. They say Grizzy was live. I don't know what she was talking about, but I think her live is. Oh, she took the live down. I went to click it to see maybe what it was about, just to browse it real quick, but I think she actually deleted it. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, my personal thing after these interviews, it's sus. You know, I'm trying to give the guy a benefit of the doubt, but it's sus as hell to me. You know, I don't want to put something on somebody that's, you know, coming out as a victim. But it is very sus to me. I mean, I'd be lying if I didn't say it was sus and that I thought some of it sounded like somebody was told to say this shit type of thing, you know? But I'm keeping my eyes open. Oh, so, let me see something. Oh, that's tomorrow. I thought Rapid was going live now. Let me get the super chats real quick too. Let me get the super chats, and we'll start wrapping it up in a little bit, I guess. Missy said, just like Janie, she faked it all for GoFundMe and kept saying stalker accounts with big TikTok guy. She said he was a hacker and cult leader. Insane case. I mean, at the end of the day, Janie's really the real culprit, right? The real manipulator, scammer. I don't know how much Rudy knew or what was up, and it's a really weird, odd story. Veronica, 7 months. Thank you for the membership. 7 months. I need some shrooms to make this make sense. Craze05, thank you for becoming a member. Ellie Ann, thank you for the 2-month membership. Says hi, Mel. 2 months already. I love your channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate you resubscribing. Amber Love Reigns, thank you for the 2 months. I appreciate all you do and the way you handle cases. Thank you. Thank you. Mars, thank you for the 5-month membership. Lynette Burns, thank you for the 2-month membership. Amazing. Apple equals trees. My brain hurts. Yeah. Heaven Stars, thank you for the super chat. People who have Stockholm don't want to leave, ? I don't know. I'm not everybody, but I would, after a while, if somebody controlling me, but not physically, but try to like some mental shit, and everybody's different, so if somebody could just stay there and take it all, I would probably after a while like snap. Like I would just, you know, me and my mother, we have the best relationship when we're not living together. The time that I had to go back and live there, I think it was like for a couple of years after I broke up with my daughter's mother, we just we just clash. Like we under the same roof, we're just clashing, and like I would snap sometimes, she would snap sometimes. Like as you grow, like you just so after a while, that somebody trying to tell you what to do type of shit will like, you know, start to irk me. But I don't know, like this woman, my mother wasn't like a crazy scammer and psychopath like this lady supplying me with drugs allegedly. Crime Solver praying, thank you for the super chat, praying he gets peace of mind needed, but it's like he is telling a narrative of someone else using carefully chosen words. Yeah. Ivan Jr., thank you. Oh, thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate that. He's in the state's hands right now. Oh, I think that's the guy that called in, maybe. He's in the state's hands right now on antidepressants, which is why he's rambling. He shows no symptoms of heavy drug abuse. He wanted to start living an adult life very young, and mom went to overdrive protection mode. Leaky story. That whole thing with mom too. I watch JLP sometimes. I don't watch him as much anymore because now I'm kind of busy doing YouTube and Maddie and stuff. But I used to watch him more years ago, and he would always talk about mama's love, mama's controlling love. Cassie, thank you so much for the super chat. I wish they would check out mother's boyfriends. Mom could have been using Rudy to get men. That's a point that somebody, I think Carly pointed that out earlier, that because they were saying that the whole thing of using Rudy as a husband boyfriend type of thing, but like Mom had a lot of the guys were out there feeding for Janie. MJ Cleveland, thank you so much for the super chat. Kayla, if you're still watching, hope you are. Hi Mel, happy 6 months. Thank you so much for resubscribing and not unsubscribing after all the ups and downs we had. Right, you're a great friend though. I appreciate you. What'd you say? Ivan, thank you for the super chat. Says up until what age? Quimby, thank you for the super chat. Says more common from older generations. Talking about the kissing thing, and I know I'm going to get a whole lecture about that later. Ivan, thank you so much for the super chat. Says I just came back from another country and they kissed their kids up until 10 or 11. Interesting. Where did I get amazing from? That's from JLP, Jesse Lee Peterson. Yeah, I'm not the originator of that. That's JLP. Ivan, I'm sure police told Rudy if he's caught lying in a statement, he would be charged. Major backpedal now. Thanks for the super chat. Mandy, karma for dragging you through the mud. And Ivan, 2 facts. Thank you for the super chat. 2 facts to Rudy's case. He drove her car twice. He crashed it once. Got a ticket any other time. So yeah, driving revoked. And Karen Newton, member for 9 months. Amazing. He needs a lot of therapy and some time to heal. Yeah, if I was him, I don't know. If he really went through what he's saying, he's gone through and stuff, he's made his public statement, I would just disappear. I think it's a little weird that he's not accepting help. In that last video, he said that I guess he's not ready or something. He's not accepting the help that's being offered. I was like, okay. I don't know what it's like to be in that situation. He's going to just do it on his own. He says he's happy. I mean, you can't force anybody. The only thing we have left is if Quanell responds and if the police conclude their investigation, and or if by some miracle JD, if you're watching, call me, reach out to me, email me. Let's get your side of shit. Why don't you come forward and talk? You love Jesse Lee Peterson? I like him. He's definitely a controversial figure. I actually went to his church thing one time when I went to Cali. I just like the stuff he says about family. Sometimes some of the stuff he says about family. These mom-son relationships are what's called emotional incest. Oh, I never even heard of that one. Emotional incest. When the mom holds onto the son as an intense romantic partner. Boy, mom BS. Well, JLP talks about that kind of stuff. And some guys, I mean, I can kind of relate to being stuck in a house for a long time. Some guys never wanting to leave home, or mama never wanted them to leave home. Hello? Okay. Who? Oh, okay. Thanks. So Al made a statement. Al Stout, Gannon's father, shared the following statement. Let me pull up this tweet so we can look at it together. This is bad, bro. This is really, really bad. This is something that, like, oh, man. Let me see. Who posted this? Nicole. I mean, I'm not one of these people that sit around, like, hopes bad shit to happen to people. And I've had people tell me like, oh, they pray something happens to me, or they're waiting for. I feel like that's such a weird type of bad energy to carry around. But it is interesting to see some of these things that are happening to some of these, I don't know what you call them, bad actors or whatever. So Nicole says here, who is this person? Okay, KDVR anchor reporter. Okay. Al Stout, Gannon's father, shared the following statement with me about this. There are those that have found a way to further the evils committed against Gannon, but goodness and love will prevail. For every hint of evil concocted and preponderance of kindness outshines the darkness of those that would deepen our pain. Wow. I don't know. Actually, I feel like JLP, if I wanted to, I probably could if I reached out to him. He seems like somebody that jumps on a lot of different panels. The church thing that I went to was so interesting at that time because there was like this couple there. I think they were like an Asian couple, and the woman was talking about that she told this guy about like her past, like all this shit from her past. And so the guy was like holding it against her and using it against her. And it was stuff that happened before their relationship. And so this woman was trying so hard to please him that she literally like broke down and like crying and like shaking. And I just want to make him happy and all this shit. And the guy was kind of a dick. I forgot exactly what he said or what happened. The guy was kind of a dick. And I was kind of an interesting thing to see in person. So, oh, there we go. Shayna, thank you for correcting me, because yeah, I totally would have said your name otherwise. Thank you for calling. That was a nice call. Shayna in the chat. I guess we can call it a night. I've had fun tonight. This was weird. I mean, not weird that I had fun. I'm saying like hanging out, talking with you guys. Gannon is a child that was stabbed to death. Was 18 times. I think he was 11 at the time by his stepmother. We covered the trial. It was really emotional, and then so some YouTubers went and paid for the autopsy photos and posted it online for people. Well, they have to pay to these YouTubers posted it like on a private thing where you have to pay to look at the photos and stuff like that. So now it's on the news, and like people are pretty upset about it. All right, I guess that's it. By the way, last night I took CBD. He was beaten and shot. Oh yeah, true. Thank you. Beaten and shot. I took CBD last night and I slept really good. I actually went to sleep on time. It's already kind of late, so I'm gonna take right now when I get off. I'm gonna take a little CBD to try to reverse my and get back to a normal sleeping cycle, because I woke up super early today. I had a really productive day, so I don't want to be staying up late unless there's a chase. Thank you for the super chat. It says, please sing a different song, Mel. I'm waking up to Aerosmith in my head the last 3 days. 867,509. Oh no, 8675. What's that song? That's not the song you're talking about, right? 8675309. What's that song? 8675309. It's not a song. That's a song. Jenny who? Jenny. Everclear. 8675309. What's that shit even mean? 1981 song released by Alex Call and Jem Keller. You got another song stuck in your head. All right, I'm going to head out here, man. I hope you guys have a good night. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll see what tomorrow brings, whether it's some other Rudy Farias update, or if Tiny hits me up, or if we get a morning chase. That would be nice. A morning chase. Filmmaker 24H released their claim on your video. Great. I didn't even know they claimed my video. Whether it's that, or if we just start covering a new story. Whatever happens, we could cover a new story too. I've been wanting to cover the Alexi Treviso. I don't know if that story is still a lot. I keep getting messages. People keep asking me to cover it and stuff. There's body cam and all this crazy shit. That might be an interesting one to cover. And the whole thing, like that project thing that I did with Harmony, I'd like to start doing that again when I have more free time for different stories. So, and I was thinking it might be nice to do Daniel Robinson, like an update. I did a really great video a long time ago, but a lot of people didn't see it. So I thought about revamping that video and adding the new updates to it. That might be a nice one too. It's a weird story, odd story. Yeah, CBD. You sticking to the weed? Listen, I used to think CBD is bullshit, right? And I still kind of do. Last night was the first time I took it and I actually felt kind of like relaxed and like enough to sleep. All the videos in my DM. Well, okay, I checked it out. I don't. I have magnesium, but I rarely take it. But I hear it's good for sleep. Let me see. I don't take it. I hear it's really good for sleep. The CBD, whatever this thing is that I took last night, this tincture thing, and I put it under my tongue. I felt really relaxed, and I was like, you know what? I could actually sleep, and I just went to sleep, and I woke up refreshed. I woke up even before the alarm went off. I was like, okay. I agree with you, Mohawk Mom. I think those photos should have been sealed. Maybe we can do, if they do a petition or something, or they try to push for some sort of law, I'd be totally down to push for that, or whatever it is we got to do to get some sort of law to protect those kind of things with kids, you know? I also got CBD. It's even bad. It's really, really good. Oh, really? CBD takes a couple of weeks. I ain't got time for weeks. What? The one lady that called that was kind of funny, the German lady. Yeah, I thought they're like, so you guys just kiss everybody, like anybody in the street, like, hey, how you doing? And you kiss them on the lips. The gummies are gangster. The Delta 9 gummies. I haven't had that in a really long time. I wonder. She better be careful with this thing because they could come for her channel. They really could. If YouTube wants her, they could. All right, guys. Good night. Love you. Bye. Adios.